Good evening, y'all. My name is George. This show is Don't Panic Flip, and I forgot to update the notification that went out. We are sans one guest that I named on the initial notification. We do not have Andi here, but we do have Paul. Paul, welcome.
Thank you. Is this one on?
That one is live, yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let's see here. We've got Dungeons and Dragons. Amiga Kemi says hi, Paul. I was ready for guests this evening. I've got chat up over there. I've got chat up here. I think the LCD that had chat up on that is like 3 people could all read chat at once. Dice, good evening. And Dice says, good evening, Panic Room. Don't panic flip. Alan from Pinball Mafia would like me to ask you a question and give you a statement. Why did you challenge him to fishtails? And he thanks you for the money. I didn't challenge Alan to fishtails. I was there while other people stupidly challenged Alan to fishtails. Alan has a tattoo of fishtails going up one leg. And somebody's like, I'll play $5 games with you on fishtails.
Yeah, I think I've seen Alan play fishtails with all power balls, and it was impressive.
It's incredibly impressive. Yeah. That would be social distancing, Paul.
Right. Yeah, standing desk ball.
He's all the way over there. Let's see here. So with that out of the way, how was the Taiwanese Pumpernickel Festival? AKA TPF. TPF was fantastic. Higher Peanut, welcome.
Okay. Yeah, you showed me some pictures. I didn't recognize. You sent me a couple pictures of a game I didn't recognize, haven't heard about. I've had a lot of stuff going on, so my checking of the pinball internet has been lacking, so I don't know what games were like really announced, if any, or anything. I saw a Mad Max table.
There was a homebrew of Mad Max.
Figured that one was Mad Max.
Yes.
Was it Knight's Quest? It looked like it might have been Knight's Quest because I saw like a knight and all I saw was kind of the top. The playfield was up.
Yes.
And I saw a crown and a goblet.
No, that's pretty close.
Okay.
So that was, I think, Merlin's Quest or Merlin's something. And that's the new Turner pinball machine.
Nice to see them coming out with something new. I don't know. I know everybody crapped all over Ninja Eclipse. When it first came out. When it very first came out,
yes,
it was not a game necessarily.
Do you remember how when Sonic the Hedgehog first was like pre-released to audiences and everybody like spit on it? Like it was something to be kicked and thrown out with the trash.
Was it because of his teeth?
No, it was his whole body, everything.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming there was a joke there. Was there some sort of like inside joke about teeth?
Well, the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer,
sure,
he had like disturbingly human teeth.
So that was just one of several problems with Sonic the Hedgehog. And we're digressing here because Sonic makes sense in this case, but did you know that Sonic Hedgehog, that version of Sonic, was actually brought back in another movie to be the bad guy? His name in that movie was Ugly Sonic.
Okay. Was it Chippendales?
It was Chippendales.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Never even saw that movie.
Okay, but I'm really happy that whole situation just occurred. Okay? That was number 1. Number 2, Turner similarly got a lot of negative. Kirk Hobbs was laughing. Thank you. Turner Pinball got a lot of negative feedback with Ninja Eclipse, and they went back and they're like, we're going to listen to this and we're going to make changes. They did, and they turned a very mediocre game into a pretty decent game. And at 7,000, I think is what they were still selling it for initially. It seemed comparable, at least with American Pinball. I would not personally have gotten one, but the art was fun. Squalito coming in with a prime. Squalito. Oh, I can take my actual hat off here. So, we're leveling up. And what does level 2 have in store for us here? Look at, whoa! Squalito, thank you. Hey, we got Paul here too. That camera's all the way over there, though.
Yeah, your setup of the cameras here makes you look like it makes me look very small.
You could
for some. Okay.
Oh, we're leveling up again. Look at that. We got 2
I
levels.
should have gotten
that.
so much closer to the camera just there.
You know, you could just section the audio from this stream and call it a podcast.
We could.
We absolutely could.
We could, but we won't.
Yeah. The quick recap to TPF. We should do a full recap, honestly, to TPF. There was a lot of stuff going on.
I mean, I don't know what I can say about it.
You
I can ask questions, I guess.
you could be the interviewer
Okay.
and I could be the interviewee.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, you could even affect a persona with like papers.
Oh yeah, I've been pretty good with my personas lately.
You have been awesome with the personas. You actually put out it's a state of it's the most ADD of podcasts I've ever been involved in, and I haven't been involved
What,
in
you and me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
and me.
of course it is.
Yeah, it is nothing but digressions. It's kind of like Family Guy if it was a podcast, with a lot of the voices too.
Now that we know how we podcast, I think if we could go back in time. I like our don't get me wrong, I like the name of Basement Dads. But given the fact that we digress or we have tangent after tangent, I think the podcast for a pinball podcast that doesn't go where it wants to should be called Off the Rails.
That's not bad. Had you have come up with Off the Rails as opposed to Basement Dads earlier on?
Off the Rails Pinball?
Yeah, Off the Rails Pinball.
Yeah, we probably
I
would've
would have
stuck that
definitely
stuff.
jumped on that. It's not that I'm like upset by Basement Dads by any means. And honestly, Ray Day was on the other night and he's like, when's the next Basement Dads podcast coming out? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a really cool moment. But George and Paul's Tangential Pinball Podcast. I did put out a podcast once. It was called OTC, Organic Tangential Conversation.
Okay.
That was it was called Over the Counter for OTC. Sorry, there's a lot of chat here.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Let's see here. Squalito's still hooked on Dungeons. We've got it for 2 more days now. I was supposed to return it tomorrow. Can't return it tomorrow because the place I'm swapping out with Jaws is closed, so we're going now Wednesday. Had to do a whole bunch of swapping with Zoe because I was supposed to have Zoe Wednesday and not Tuesday because I was going to do this Tuesday night.
Okay. I was about to say it's really gross.
Wait, what? I don't know what I said.
I'm supposed to do a bunch of swapping with Zoe.
Oh, swapping with who is the parent of?
Yeah, I got there.
Yeah. Who is the parent of Zoe? So I'm taking Zoe to dinner, help her get her schoolwork done, and Taekwondo tomorrow. Then dropping her back off with her mom. She's gonna keep her Wednesday, so that way I can do the Jaws and D&D swap, hot swap, we'll call it. And then end up grabbing Zoe on Thursday, and then I get to take her to go do a whole bunch of fun stuff in Denver this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm unpacking. I've had a whirlwind of a month. Just busy.
Wait, why? Wait, are you You're not unpacking you, right?
No, I'm unpacking my girlfriend.
Okay, cool. Who was supposed to come tonight?
Yeah, she was. And then she was like, we have the maintenance people coming for our condo tomorrow morning, and she is not an early riser, we'll put it that way. Very heavy sleeper.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to be at work when these maintenance people come, and we'll see if she wakes up, because there won't be any person there to wake her up. And
I don't know why that just sounded really dark in my head when you said that. Like, we'll see if she wakes up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, she got her very first pinball machine. I want to say a couple weeks ago. I don't know. We picked it up right after this whirlwind of a week, right? So we had a really big D&D launch party, and then we had the finals for our biggest season of League ever. at Pinball Jones with 42 people. And then the following weekend, which would have been the dates of, it would have been on the 8th. I guess we left on Friday the 7th and returned back home with a new pin on Saturday the 8th. And it is Stern Trident right there.
Yeah, look. Oh, can't zoom.
She got it from a family friend who is also the original owner.
Wow. This looks actually really similar to Stars.
In a way, it's
2 spinners. It's got two pump bumpers, some drop targets over here, some stand-up targets.
It's kind of similar to also Cosmic Princess, I think, which I hear Wormhole talking about all the time.
Okay.
But Cosmic Princess is a rare find. That's so Stern Electronics would release carbon copy games of one another.
Sure.
With different themes / titles for the Australian market. And so Cosmic Princess was the only one that didn't have a carbon copy be for the US. It was strictly for Australia.
Hey, Ghost Flipper.
Yeah, Higher Peanut, not a lot of them around.
So, Ghost Flipper, long time no see. Also, Silver, welcome to the stream. Sorry, we got so much more chat to catch up on, but there was a story that goes along with Andi purchasing this game. Was there any issues with the game?
Yeah, we
see that layup there, by the way.
See here, yeah. Thanks for that layup.
Yeah.
She had some longtime friends who were getting married there in Nebraska. I forget exactly when that was. I could scroll through my gallery and find out my photos and stuff. But we'll say it was during wedding season, so June-ish of 2024. So, yeah, we went there, and while we were there, we were like, let's take a look at the game.
Do it.
And it wasn't set up or anything because they never played it or anything. And they were really hoping that I was, me being a pinball tech, I was just going to be able to wizard my way into making it work and everything. Yeah, there was about 22 wires that were snipped from the back box to the main cabinet. It wasn't every single wire that went up to the back box, thankfully, but just a small bundle of wires had been snipped in order for them to be able to remove the head so that they could fit it through their sliding glass door, which, if that's the case, just turn the game 90 degrees and get a second person.
And do it like that and do the cool
yeah.
thing, man. Tetris that thing through the door. Also, Dice saying, here's 52 pages of schematics. You got this, right?
No, I mean, I didn't even have to look at the schematics. It was just color coding.
Sure.
I had a certain number of
you heard it here first.
Wires.
Paul doesn't need schematics, y'all. So if you need help with your pinball machine,
in certain situations,
call
you need
Paul.
Schematics. But when you're looking at 22 snipped wires and then another 22 snipped wires, chances are pretty good that you don't need schematics.
Audrey, by the way, welcome. All right, give me a sec. I'm going to catch up over here. What was the alcohol to Starbucks drunk ratio? I had at most 4 Starbucks drinks in one day. That was Saturday. No,
okay.
That was Friday.
Gotcha.
George and Paul's Tangential Pinball Podcast. Also, Kirk Hobbs from above. I can't believe I am not getting the credit I deserve for asking Jack what is the next JJP game at TPF. Chat caller. My 30 seconds of fame nipped in the bud. I did not know, Kirk, that was you. But evidently, all of JJP was very surprised when Jack confirmed in the chat at TPF that they did in fact have the Harry Potter license. Jersey Jack Guarneri.
Gotcha.
I had no idea, Kirk, that was you who asked the question, and Jack's like, yeah, we got it. No biggie. I wasn't there in the event at the time.
I mean, it's not a secret anymore.
It wasn't a secret, but they confirmed it.
Sure.
And they confirmed it, and nobody, evidently, from Jersey Jack was prepared for them to confirm it.
That sounds
Seemingly. I
like-
could be wrong on that.
That sounds like Jack. That sounds like how Jack operates. From what I've heard from other things, he just marches to the beat of his own drum a little bit, and then everybody else around him tries to catch up.
Okay. D&D is heading out Wednesday, so we'll have 2 streams tonight and tomorrow, and then Wednesday I'm swapping it out for Jaws Pro. I want another stab now that the code is much closer to Dunzo at Jaws, and the Pro that the guy I rent from actually plays really well, and I would recommend the Pro over the Premium.
I would too.
Okay. Pro's pretty brutal, and so I'm excited to get that back. After the Pro, I think I'm going to pull Jurassic Park back in.
Okay. How many Jurassic Parks have you had over the years, Jordan? Is it Pro or Premium or LE?
This is a Pro.
Okay.
And this will be the 4th time I will have had a Jurassic Park in the house.
I'm pretty
sure.
sure.
Just leave it at that. No, we don't need to say anything else about it.
No, I think I'm pretty sure Jurassic Park 4 was the best one.
I hope so. I just want to get to when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Hey, Jay-Z.
Hey. Fun factoid, it's also Jaws' 50th anniversary this year.
Thank you. Oh, it's Jaws' 50th anniversary this year.
In June.
In June.
Are you sure it's not July 4th?
Is it?
I don't know. It's a July 4th movie. I only know
It
this
is
from MJ.
Yeah.
I bet it was released in June in prep for July 4th.
While we're waiting, Cosmic Princess, probably the rarest game I've ever played from Higher Peanut. Everyone tells Stern Pinball that if he ever buys a new in-box game, he only needs the keys, no paperwork. I'm assuming we're catching up now, but that has to be for Paul, who no longer needs any information. He can just jump in and figure out how a pinball machine works on the fly.
The original release of the movie was June 20th, 1975.
There we go. June 20th, pretty close to the 4th.
Holy crap, my sister's going to be 50.
Wow. How many bets it's only going to be based on Cursed Child? Ha, called it. Wait, what? I really hope it's not based on Cursed Child.
I am incorrect on Trident looking anything like Cosmic Princess.
Lynn's Arcade coming in hot with 18 beautiful people. Lynn's Arcade, my hat's off to you. We are leveling up, y'all. Look at that. Boom. Level 4. Oh, wait, we got to go here. There's a thing. Yeah. It's going to get there.
Turn down for what?
You can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Headsets are working. It's great. Just keep in mind, I'm not in control of when it plays the next little God damn it. The next little 10-second bit. D&D is still here. It's been like 2 weeks. Wolfman, it is leaving. It's leaving on Wednesday. Ah. We're almost done. We're almost there. All right, next one is... Let's see here. What's the deal with your Pulp Fiction? Not digging it? Dom Hanks. I don't know. We did 2 nights on it. And I can no longer, it seems like, consistently backhand the right drop target, or the right, whatever that is called, the roll scene shot. And I don't know. I will play it again. We just have D&D for such a short amount of time. Ghost Slipper, thank you for...
You waited so long for that game, and you're going to not be able to hit a single target a couple times and just give up?
I don't feel it is Squalito. It's inconsistent, and I don't like that. Hey, Lamb Diggity, no, blue hat wearing penguin. Welcome. I really do want to play the game. I just had so little time with D&D. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, D&D has an expiration date for you.
Right, yeah. 2 days left on D&D.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction doesn't, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Pulp Fiction is going to go to Dan, aka Man Adams, and I'm going to grab his. He's got a 007 LE that he's holding on to right now, so we're going to swap those out for a couple of months so that way he can play some Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
But I own Pulp Fiction.
Hey, maybe we could do a review on 007 now that you have it.
We could pull the old one and the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm not gonna lie. Like micro editing for podcasts to pull out delays and and stuff like that. Like I heard Zach complain about it, and then when I had to do it, it sucks.
I think it'll probably be a lot better now that I'm not stoned all the time. That might help a little bit.
It wasn't just you. Paul.
Also, we recorded that podcast twice, and
We
it
did.
never got aired, never once.
Nope, it didn't.
But I mean, I get pretty heated towards the end of podcasts, and I get pretty Wreck-It Ralph, and George is just like, nope, we're not gonna.
Honestly, I don't feel like it's that. It's literally I can only focus on. Let me take a step back. I feel like I just try to distribute my focus as best as possible. Sometimes I can do things like I focus. Hey, Jonathan 13, welcome to the stream. I got distracted by this idea of allowing any two things to fight, and that became Death Lab. Now, Death Lab needs so much more work, but I haven't touched it because I'm almost done completing my first novel. And what happened is I started working on Death Lab, so I stopped working on novels, and Death Lab, I ended up spending almost 2.5 months developing the code for that, and that was also in between our podcast like 6, and then we recorded 7, 8, and 9 really easily.
I mean, I thought the last. I know we had the music episode that was just weird. I don't know why. It was just off. I wouldn't say like it wasn't valid conversation. It was just directionless. But what one of our episodes isn't?
Yep. Yeah. Right.
In a way.
Right? Like we do have direction. It's actually every episode is pretty well thought out.
Yeah, it's just sticking to those thoughts.
It's actually hitting all of those high thoughts. Jonathan asking if I got the glass sword of awesomeness. I did not get the glass sword. Not yet. If it's still available, I think we should go for it tonight.
Yeah, I guess you have a wow, what a segue. I'm looking at a chart here. A flow chart.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna switch that
Oops,
over.
I'm moving things around. I didn't mean to.
Nope, that is not the right scene. There we go.
How do I?
So right click to drag it around.
Okay, thanks.
And then zoom in and out with the scroll button. There you go.
Saw that. Okay. All right, here we go.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, that's Godfather. All right. Not yet in the game. Ranger, Barbarian.
You gotta zoom way in. I can't. No one's gonna be able to read.
Sure. Okay. So.
Way further. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where to start.
Right. There's a lot with this game.
Because yeah, you can start in any range of talent. Let's start here, right? This is your 4 options for towns. I finally found it, guys.
Yes. Look at that. Beautiful. I can read all of that.
Great. Except for the
the
greenness,
camera's over
that's okay.
one of them, but it's good enough. Yeah.
All right. So I have the Bard. In prep for tonight, I went down and played D&D a little bit at Pinball Jones.
You prepared for this.
Yeah. And I did start with I did restart. I wiped all of my characters.
Oh, how do you do that?
Hold in both flipper buttons.
Okay.
And I think you can actually even do it right now,
Okay.
even though you're not logged in. It sounds weird.
Oh no, I don't have home, whatever. But
No,
I'm
I'm not.
at it.
You don't even have to have home. It should still be an option there if you hold in both flippers.
Reset all progress.
There you go.
Boom. Look at that. Reset all of your progress.
When
I
in-
did not know that was there.
When
wait,
in doubt,
here.
hold down both flippers,
Check it
guys.
out. Check this out, y'all. Toggle. Oh, nope. I need to go here. We're going to go main. I got something for this.
You are doomed to perish.
There you go.
There it is. Reset all progress.
Yeah, so I did that once because I accidentally started a character I didn't want to,
Okay.
and I wasn't very high level at all. So I was just let's wipe it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a level 11 rogue. I have not played any other character at all except for the bard a little bit.
Okay.
But
So you're ready to just throw down tonight on this.
maybe we'll see. I'm curious how well yours plays. I'm actually really frustrated at I'm really mad at Stern about Dungeons and Dragons. It has nothing to do with the dragon itself, like the
dragon's
the
whatever.
fix for it. That's fine and everything. There are it seems like every copy of a game out of the box that we get at Pinball Jones has a shot that doesn't friggin' work.
Sure.
on it.
X-Men.
Jaws, the upper playfield.
Yeah, getting to the upper playfield
Getting
was
to
impossible.
the upper playfield on Jaws Premium. And the main one, I guess, I want to say there was a couple other shots, but we were able to dial them in. It's the mimic shot on our copy. We have a pro. And the mimic shot, when it kicks it out into the gelatinous cube, does not go anywhere near the magnet.
Did you already try turning up the power?
Okay, so yeah, and you want to open the coin door and see how that works right now? In fact, just go to coil. That's a coil, right?
I know it's in such a weird place.
It is in the menu?
Yeah, it is.
We haven't seen it at
Here.
all because it's not on the coil test, George.
No, hold on. It is.
I want to know. I want to know right now. I'm
Skidoo.
taking pictures. I'm
Hip,
going to be
hip.
sending it to the original Paul. I'm the extra Paul because the other text name is Paul. What the
So
hell? I
it
went
is
through this entire freaking-
diagnostics game. Oh, we're leveling. Hold on.
Where's the main? Wait, where did you go? Oh, I see it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
This is killing me, dude.
I skidoo. My physical hats off. Thank you so much. What is this? The pinball basement dads getting ready for some D&D pinball? Yes.
What the?
It's exactly what this is, Dan Spanda.
I'm so pissed right now.
All right, so it's right here. We're gonna turn this back on. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go diagnostics. It's the D&D symbol.
Okay.
Game
All right,
specific
Wait,
ta-
go back because
Okay.
I'm gonna take all these pictures.
There you go.
Okay,
Left
great.
eject.
All right, thank you.
And then it's right there. And you bump it from
Stupid.
140 to
That's how the
180.
finger flip stuff was on X-Men as well.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, it's so dumb.
I'm sure it makes sense
Why
to
is
someone.
it in the coil test though?
I agree. Why would the power be in the coil
You
test?
know what does have a power setting, George? This post right here. Why? That up post has a power setting.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. The flippers have power settings that's 0
Sure,
through
that makes
255. But that's
an
in the
up-down
adjustment.
thing. This is an up-down thing to merely stop the ball. It's not trying to send the ball anywhere. It's merely to just stop the ball when you hit a shot to start a quest
Okay.
or do something. Why does it need a power setting?
I don't know.
I'm so frustrated right now.
Every time you said
I'm happy that
Sure,
that
you've
I
got it.
shown the answer, but I've been looking for this crap for so long.
Also, Pinmonk, by the way, I finally started catching up on the D&D thread on Pinside. Pinmonk is like the go-to person on Pinside to solve all of your problems. I knew that. Like that is Pinmonk, your entire business is like fixing engineering shortcomings with games made. Yeah, it's your thread now, exactly. But like You make products not only for the American working man, because that's what you are and that's who you care about. Fun movie reference there. But also, you literally fix engineering flaws in all of the games. So it makes sense that you would jump in and just start helping everybody randomly with every issue that ever pops up in Dungeons and Dragons. You will be charging a toll for access. Of course, right? Because the trolls. But Pinmonk says you can shim the kick out to direct the ball more directly to the magnet area without so much rattle. Well, at this point, Paul didn't know where the setting was to adjust it from 140 to 180.
It's not in the coil tests.
Yeah. Nobody saw us at all during that entire time. I forgot. Help remind me, by the way, that we need to toggle the LCD on and off. I'm trying to do this thing where I turn it on and turn it off. I saw Carl doing this on IE Pinball because it's pretty in-depth what's happening in D&D. Go full screen so you get to show all the detail of D&D, and I stole that. Instantly came in and I'm like, that is genius right there. I want to do that. The problem is that I keep forgetting to turn it off. Oh, he has a foot pedal? Are you kidding me? That's... God, Carl, as always, setting a precedent for how to do streaming right, and has been doing it for years. Carl, thank you. Would Pinmonk be the Mr. Fix-It daddy on Dungeons and Daddies? So, on that note, I'm going to add some context here. It was either Ty or it was Jordan who told me about a fantastic podcast called Dungeons and Daddies.
I believe I've heard of Dungeons Daddies before.
It's evidently pretty well known, and their tagline is, "We are not a BDSM podcast."
But they're all wearing leather armor.
Well said. That's a +1 right there. It's not really a pun, sir, but they do fun things. They have, I think they're all comedians, or they all should be comedians who have great rapport with one another. They play a D&D game where they are dads who end up falling into the forgotten realms of D&D 5th edition by driving their minivan filled with them and their kids into a vortex.
I thought this was going to be like a 3 Men and a Baby ripoff.
No, it's not. It's great. It's so much fun. And anytime someone says a dad joke, they all take 1d4 psychic damage.
Okay, that's great.
It's really good. There's all kinds of good stuff. Pinmonk says, I feel like that's an OnlyFans channel, Dungeons and Daddies. That would be a fantastic OnlyFans channel name. There's still so much chat. I do want to finish this. Winners don't lose. Issues with build quality. We started that entire tangent with, wow, I'm still going back up. Are you not digging Pulp Fiction? That was that entire tangent. We're now coming back up 75 messages earlier. CNK came to see Jay-Z in a cheerleading outfit again. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon. I say probably. I don't know. Jay-Z's upstairs and she's watching the stream. She could who knows? Maybe she comes downstairs dressed in dressed in that outfit again. Jaws was the first summer blockbuster. Did you play Evil Dead? Yes. Paul.
No.
I'm going to tell you right now. And Pinmonk, I'd love to hear your opinion on Evil Dead. I don't know if you've had the chance to play it. Honestly, this goes with anyone, but wow. Okay. You know, me and Spooky maybe haven't had... We have a rocky history.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Evil Dead, they brought, I think, 10 games to TPF. I didn't see any of them being worked on. I played probably 5 different Evil Deads.
Oh, okay. They were all 10 Evil Deads. I wasn't sure if they brought like a bit of their other...
They brought 10 Evil Deads.
Okay.
That's it. And all of them played beautifully. And on top of that, I'm not a huge fan of Evil Dead.
Right.
But I was sucked into the world under glass.
Yeah, what about Bruce Campbell? Are you
Bruce
Campbell fan?
I like Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
I
think that's
and
kind of
it's not that I dislike Evil Dead. I have seen Army of Darkness 20 or 30 times at this point. So I get it. And I do appreciate that style of humor. It's shop smart, shop S-smart. Like, I enjoy it. Wow. I'm blown away by how awesome that machine is. And on top of that, once again, no issues with any of the games. And if you remember TPF last year, they brought Looney Tunes and
no. Okay.
and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all of them sucked. I'm going to just be really harsh. The left flipper in every Looney Tunes just died halfway through every game, and balls kept disappearing on Texas Chainsaw Massacre around the lock. Like, it was a complete shit show at TPF last year for Spooky. Evil Dead, something changed. Not one issue. Theme integration and software seemed killer. I can't stress enough, some of the coolest, most amazing theme integration I've ever seen in a pinball machine. They nailed horror.
Okay, how many games do they have? You may or may not know this, but I'm hoping someone in chat does. If you don't, how many games have they had under the same operating system?
As far as I can tell, they don't have yet a core operating system.
Okay, well, so obviously Looney
Pinball
Tunes,
saying 3.
Looney Tunes. Okay, is it 4 if you say Looney Tunes and Texas Chainsaw? Count those as 2 different ones. Is it 4? then?
Possibly.
3 releases, we'll say.
But here's my problem with that is, no. I don't know if it was the same underlying OS with a different rule set on top. Like, every time Stern makes a change to their OS, they update all of their machines.
Yes.
And what's great is you start off with an incredibly capable operating system. And I don't know that Spooky is so far capable at this point that they have a standardized operating system.
Okay, so
Every game may have its own completely fresh start because they keep spinning through different developers.
yeah, okay, yeah, I agree, Pinmonk, but I mean, technically, it is 4 different games. I mean, they're different rule sets,
Hold on.
right? So
I got to clarify here. Not the actual, I said operating system. Truthfully, I mean, when you go into the menu system and how the code interacts with, think of it like an API or an SDK, there's going to be some standard ways to access lights. Like you have light 1 through 170, and the code can handle up to 255 individually referenceable lights.
Right.
Like there's an SDK associated with a general SDK, and there's a mapping, a physical mapping that happens at Stern that allows everyone generic and consistent access to all the different mechs of a game. And sometimes they have to go through and change that that like firmware, that software that sits on top of the actual low-level operating system, or it is their own operating system. Pinmonk, I don't know for certain if it's sitting on Linux. Maybe it is, but there's like this base layer, and then there's the game-specific layer. And this is going to be the UI. This is going to be the LCD and what it presents there. But there's an underlying system that allows one set of developers who know how to do game design and things like that to generally access all of the different components using a standardized SDK. And that exists at Stern. We know that because they separate the different versions for those systems.
Okay.
So we know they have one team likely working on the subsystem and one team working on the higher level system. I don't know that exists at Spooky. Hopefully that clarified what I was getting at.
clear as mud.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like before Scooby. So I think if we're gonna go back 3, we're gonna count Texas Chainsaw and Looney Tunes as 1. I believe that's what Pinmonk's saying here, with where it's 3 different games under the same OS. So Looney Tunes, we'll just call it Looney Tunes so we don't confuse the horror movies. Looney Tunes, Evil Dead, and Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Right? Those would be the 3 under the same OS. Before that, I think it was a one-off, followed by a one-off, followed by a different OS. You know, OS after OS after OS.
Yeah, Ultraman and Halloween.
So as a consumer, as a consultant for, my boss who's buying these machines, that's usually what I say. You know, if he comes to me and he says, oh, Scooby-Doo still does, whether we like it or not, it's still one of our top earners just because of the theme alone. And maybe Looney Tunes would do the same thing. And I point out the quality issues on
so many quality issues.
on Scooby-Doo. The fact that there's rails underneath the machine where you can, lift up the playfield and pull it out a little bit and set it down on those nice little rubber feet
Sure.
at the bottom. And then the drop targets on Scooby-Doo get in the friggin' way
Oh no.
of doing that. So if you try and do that like you do on any other machine, it's just kind of muscle memory, you're going to mess up the drop targets.
Okay.
And that is by design.
That sucks. You kind of had that though, even like some games just have that. So Batman 66 with that giant telescoping mech at the bottom. If you
At the back of the playfield.
it was at the back. You're absolutely right.
There's no rubber foot. They didn't make the rails shorter to accommodate the service rails is
Sure.
what I'm talking about. Shorter to accommodate that. They still have put on regular friggin' rails. They still put on the rubber feet where they usually go and just put a 6 friggin' drop targets in the way for you to wreck.
Yeah, got it.
So that's a quality issue.
Pinmonk called that a profit center.
Yeah, maybe. But whenever I'm asked, should we get this spooky game? I'm usually like, it looks pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I think they did a great job, but let them get one more under their belt.
So, assuming once again that the software rev sticks with the boards and sticks with whoever created it.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's Spike 2 for Stern, right? And the
Yep.
first Spike 3 game that comes out, you may want it. Imagine it's Kong, right? Because there's a whole bunch of extra mechs, a larger screen. It's Spike 3. That firmware, the first time, it's going to have some issues because that's, Windows 11 when it first came out or Windows 10 when it first came out, it's going to have problems. And what you're getting at is if they've got three games now and they're now hitting the 4th game on the same board set with the same firmware, that every time they increment the version, they can push it out to all of the other ones and they all get better.
Yeah.
It allows you to start and develop so much faster. Pinmonk saying Spike 3 is upon us. It's being phased in. The red boards and Delta Electronics power supplies are Spike 3. Hey, Monkey. Welcome. We're talking about TPF, Spike 3, and whether or not, just to catch you up, whether or not it makes sense to dive in now with Evil Dead on Spooky.
So do you think that the only Stern remastered game will be on a Spike 2? That there will be only one remastered
But they already
Spike
did
2
Metallica,
game.
which was Spike.
That's
Oh, got
what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You're saying the next one.
I said it all confusing.
So when they do The Walking Dead, the comic book version, which sounds like that's what's happening, remastered, that one, would that be Spike 3?
Yeah, do you think so?
I don't know why they would do that. It's not necessary.
Well, okay. So why would they go back to an old OS?
To use up the parts that maybe they have left over.
Okay.
I'm guessing. It's just you don't
At a lower price point,
at
probably.
a lower, yeah, right.
Okay.
Like they've the way it goes with materials planning is that you oftentimes end up buying capacitors and boards and so many thousands, and you get guarantees because when you order things from, let's say, China in different places, you have to order like the board separate from you can never order the entire part, or China will just take it and then copy it. So you have to order sub pieces from different areas and never everything from China all in one go, because they'll just steal whatever IP. They don't adhere to the patent system. They're not one of the countries that adhere to patents.
Okay. Well, Pinmonk here is saying that Spike 3 is not an operating system. But it is a system, right?
Well, Spike 3 isn't an operating system, but it's a series of, I'm guessing, boards and different hardware, right? It's a system of hardware and cabinets, right? So Spike 3, Pinmonk, will need its own operating system. The operating system currently running Spike 2 will need to be modified to support Spike 3 or rebuilt from the ground up. Since Spike 3 is backwards compatible with 2, they'll just keep phasing Spike 3 in until all the parts are Spike 3. That's possible that the firmware would be backwards compatible. If they're still using node boards, if they're still using all the same physical hardware, I don't know what is different then about Spike 3. There's a lot to digest there. Linux is the OS, and I'm talking about the subsystem. In fact, if we go to Stern's webpage and look at their release notes, they separate the version of code from the subsystem or whatever that system version is.
Okay.
So you're saying, well, if it's more power, more RAM, and more CPU, they do need, if it's a different CPU, they would need different firmware to operate that CPU. And if they break things up and do multiple CPUs, one so that way they can do something in parallel and another while they can do something in parallel, like they probably already have 2 CPU setups, I'm guessing. One to handle switches and then build a queue, and then the OS or the game portion to actually pull from the queue and respond to events. That's how the P3 system, I think, is set up, where it's 2 different CPUs. But any of those get too different, and you suddenly need to build new drivers to work with those components. And it's not always easy to just be backwards compatible. That's also, to give an example, what I'm referring to there is that Windows, I'm sorry to dive so deep into this, but
No, I think it's great, man.
Windows eventually does away with supporting old hardware. They don't, because it's too much of a pain in the butt to rebuild a driver to support something from 2005. Like Windows with 11 just says we're not supporting anything prior to a certain age. And they may even happen with an upgrade. Like an upgrade to Windows 11 may kill and just delete a significant part of its driver base to support anything older than a certain date or a certain type of component, because it's too big of a pain in the butt to support it and make sure it's secure and keep it working with all new versions.
I gotcha. I was kind of grinning here because I was just thinking, when was the last time I came over here and actually played pinball, since we're now an hour in without playing any pinball? And then I started thinking we should just do the podcast, and we should like name it the one where we pretended like we were going to play pinball. and then I had I think the better name is for Ray Day.
Yeah, nice.
And then I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if we had someone in the know from Stern here to listen to all of our theories,
Right?
like Elizabeth Gieske?
Sure. Yes.
And I know she's not going to be able to say anything about on this, but we can gauge on how close or far away we are by how much she's pulling out her hair.
Okay. Sure.
With all of this talk.
Uh-huh.
So at this point, welcome to Basement Dad's Pinball Podcast, where we talk everything home entertainment. That's books, board games, movies, music, and of course, pinball. My name's Extra Paul, and over here's George. We'll be your host for this episode. So hold on to your banisters, folks, because we got a heck of a show for you.
Nice. Yeah. An hour in. 56 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, better late than never.
I asked you like 50,000 questions in chat and you haven't answered any.
I'm not good at reading chat. That's been my responsibility over here at the desk.
Oh,
George is busy pretending to play pinball.
there we go. What is Spike 1, 2, and 3, says Dance Panda. She's now not
What's
here
What's
anymore.
Sam? What's White Star?
Different hardware sets associated to different software.
What's Sega?
Sega. That is one of my favorite sounds ever, by the way. Catching back up, there was so many more questions. Let's see here. Ben Heck is killing it now, which came from Aaron. What did you think of the new Turner table?
Are you DJing now?
Turner tables. You gotta do that. It was a table. It was super cool to see the underside and the engineering going into it. I feel like Turner is really focusing on building a clean, reproducible pinball machine that offers a lot of innovation and makes it really easy to work and replace failed components on pinball machines.
Okay.
It is the cleanest looking pinball machine I've ever seen. Whether or not the artwork is okay, I wasn't impressed with the layout of the new Merlin table.
Okay. I have not seen it, but I have a phone.
You do. You also have a PC in front of you.
I'm
with
so much faster.
Yeah, sure. So, It's just bland. They did have an actual, instead of a spinner, it was a foosball table soccer character that when you hit, it flipped around. It was JC. What is a Turner table? Turner Pinball is the company that started that bought up a bunch of IP from Deeproot after they went under, and used it in several of their pinball machines. Or sorry, in their first pinball machine, which was Ninja Eclipse, and they just released their second pinball machine. And at this point, I feel confident that they'll come around eventually with the software and get it there. It wasn't there now. So I was more looking at Turner, which is, by the way, a huge accomplishment for Turner. At this point, they made Ninja Eclipse into a very enjoyable game. Ninja Eclipse also had kind of a unique layout. There was a lot going on. In this next layout, it's much less is going on.
So Turner succeeded where Deeproot miserably failed.
Yeah, they've actually pushed out pinball machines, and they've sold pinball machines. The other big issue is that Merlin, I don't know what it's called. It's Merlin something.
Merlin's Arcade.
Merlin's Arcade.
Yeah, it looks very Sword in the Stone. I do like the artwork on it a lot.
The artwork's gorgeous. The LCD like animations were there. I assume that they will come much further in the near future, just like they did with Ninja Eclipse. The problem is the layout was very
basic.
Turner aimed lower, but if I heard correctly, this pinball machine was a lot more expensive. It was like $9,000 or $10,000.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website. Well, the arcade edition is $7,000. The legendary edition is $9,000.
There you go. Okay, so as long as they offer a 7K edition, I think it's okay. They're hitting a very specific market that doesn't want to buy from some of the other manufacturers.
There is also a $1,000 deposit that's required.
Okay.
As well.
That is the company
weird
Dance
thing on their
Panda.
website. Yeah. I'm looking directly on their website, and I'm able to see more of the play. I'm also on my phone, but I'm able to see more of the layout from the thumbnail for the playout picture than when I click on the thumbnail. I can't see that there's an upper flipper on it.
There is an upper flipper.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what I'm looking at from their website. And then when I look at that thumbnail, I can see the upper flipper.
Yeah. So what's really weird is I don't think the upper flipper was intended. It feels to me like the upper flipper was actually thrown in late, because there isn't. It's kind of hard to make the one looping shot, and then after that you're hitting a bunch of stand-ups below with it.
I mean, I wish I could see a full playfield shot of it. I mean, a better place to go would probably be one of the usual ones.
Sure. Double flip, by the way, welcome. Scoop to scoop action. It's a feature. They nailed copying Led Zeppelin's blimp lock ramp shot. Yeah. It's really, really basic. I'm not Turner pulled a Sonic the Hedgehog with their first game. So I don't want to count them down and out. Who knows? When I come back the next time, the software could be so much further that I end up really liking it. But I wouldn't buy either of those machines. Not that I can afford anything. Monkey says, non-refundable deposit. Refundable if they do not deliver in 24 months. A bit bold for a company that has only made 100 machines. Good point. Obi-Wan, welcome.
I actually like their lower count. I think that's a good business model. For them.
I think they're doing it right, and I think they are building up a team. Once again, they're focusing on the engineering of the machines. The fact that the machines themselves, I feel like, aren't the most spectacular things is okay, as long as they start moving that direction. Narkowski, welcome. It's almost like they're focusing on their JV game right now, knowing their junior varsity game, knowing that eventually they will bring in a designer to do a varsity style pinball machine at some point in the future and really blow everybody's minds, and then have all of this cool engineering under them to turn it to quickly justify that $7,000 and $9,000 price.
So what's this like knight statue chess piece? Is that
No, so that is the foosball table flipper, or spinner rather.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's given me initially looking at it, it's given me some Black Knight sort of rage vibes. But I'm sure it's not motorized.
It is not motorized. It does spin very easily. Also, Jonathan, can we get a quick bio on your guest, George? Jonathan, this is Paul. Paul, I'm gonna go refill my tequila. Do you need any more tequila?
No tequila. I will take a more mild alcoholic beverage.
Mild alcoholic beverages on it. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Extra Paul.
Can you add some more suave to the introduction?
Oh, you want me to do the intro again?
No. I mean, like, actually add suave and sexiness to talking about yourself.
Hi.
Yes, there we go.
My name's Extra Paul. You might be asking, why do they call you Extra Paul? Well, the other tech, I'm a tech at an arcade here in Fort Collins, and the other tech, his name is also Paul, and he's been around longer. So, yeah. No one plays ABBA. ABBA plays you. I've never actually played ABBA. Well, I mean, I actually listen to a lot of ABBA, but never played ABBA, the pinball machine. Did you play ABBA at TPF, George?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How was it?
Let me tell you. ABBA is a pinball machine.
It's a game.
It's a game.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
pretty much it. It's a pinball machine. Literally all I can say. There was a good line in front of the one ABBA in the back corner the entire time. I snuck over there, got in at one point, and put a game on it. The flippers were soggy, and it's a pinball machine. That's it.
all right. That's very fair.
Yes.
If you were to if you were to buy it, would you say you're taking a chance?
I taking a chance at a major loss in like, if you bought ABBA, there's no way it's selling for anywhere close to retail.
Okay. I mean, that
Is when you say, like, is that the...
that's an ABBA song. Take a chance.
Oh, no, I
Take a
missed
chance,
it
take a
entirely. I'm
chance,
so
take a chance,
sorry.
take a chance,
Yeah.
Change.
Whew,
If you change
over
your
my head.
mind. No.
Nothing goes over my head because my reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. Monkey asking, Reposado or Añejo? There's actually a story about this. This is a Blanco. And I normally always go for Añejos. Always, always, always. This is the Arte Azul tequila. And I was blown away by how sweet and unique their Reposado was. I then purchased their Añejo, and I was very disappointed. It wasn't good. I don't know why, but the Añejo should always be better. And it wasn't an inexpensive bottle of tequila. So kind of as a joke, I tried the Blanco at a local restaurant because they had it right there. And I'm like, oh my God, this Blanco is better than the Añejo. So on the way home from the restaurant, I picked up a bottle of the Blanco, which happened to be at my local liquor store. And it's amazing. Hands down, pants off. I'm going to say the Blanco is better than the Reposado and the Añejo, which should never happen by Arte Azul.
All right.
Let's jump back into software discussions.
Well, I mean, we could also talk about board games,
Sure.
movies, music,
Books?
books. I've actually read 2 books, I think, since we last recorded, which I don't read all that often, but I've read 2 books.
What 2 books have you read?
Well, one was more of a self-help, but changed my life. Not entirely.
Okay.
It gave me a new perspective. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
That's a much better way to put it. It did give me a new perspective.
I had a beef rib from Hutchinson's in Texas that did change my life as well. But please.
Okay, and then the other one is James S.A. Corey's.
The new series.
Yeah, the new series, the Gods of Mercy.
Okay, so James S.A. Corey are two writers that developed the Expanse series, which were popularized by a television show that was done pretty well. But the books are amazing.
It was. I watched the TV show of the Expanse. Ironically,
Okay.
because when I read the books, I was thinking of this gritty, dirty, space opera
Sure.
of sorts. So, you have all these belters out in
Yeah.
the midst of the solar system, and they're cooperating with one another. And though, if you didn't change the air filters, you're going to get thrown out the airlock. That's kind of how society is, because you're killing everyone,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
it's a simple thing, and so it's gritty in that way. The TV show is the CW version of that, where everyone's a little too pretty. All the sets are super clean.
Yeah, the Belters were nowhere near as they're supposed to be like gangly, and they've essentially evolved into a species that can't live in gravity, in a gravity well, to be even more specific.
Right. So they're all tall and lanky,
Yeah,
and agoraphobic as well.
but also which would be fear of open spaces.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you grew up in a spaceship, wouldn't you be scared of?
Afraid of open air. Yeah, like what if you just couldn't? What if there was no top?
I mean, there's an extent to that. I think it's somewhere in the middle, because I mean, as a belter, you're probably making spacewalks all of the time.
Sure, but you're in a suit, so to be maybe
Yeah.
without a suit in
But
that case,
it's very open space. But if it's more of a thing if there's something off in the distance. There's a little bit more
sure.
perspective,
I
depth of field per se, whereas in space it's just big black darkness.
Yeah, I imagine that trying to empathize with phobias can be pretty difficult.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gods of Mercy. Nothing like the Expanse. There's actually aliens this time, not just a virus
Okay.
of sorts, not just space zombies, I guess.
Okay.
But there's intelligent alien life in this new series.
Okay. I like it.
And a lot of different species of them.
Pinmonk pointing out that Boston Dynamics posted a video showing the progress they've made in robotics this year, and they can see how Westworld is just over the horizon. Based on the capabilities that they have today. Robotics is the next great frontier. AI is the current frontier.
Right.
To be focused on. Robotics is the next. Double Flip asking what brand this is. That was Arte Azul. ARTE space AZUL. I can go grab the bottle too. It's a very unique looking. Every good tequila is I feel like it tries to show off their plumage like a bird. They build themselves very unique looking bottles. That's how the big brand name tequilas separate themselves is by the bottle. And Arte Azul did the same thing. They created some weird ass tetra. Sorry, a polyhedron. Nope. Sorry, the pyramid. They built a pyramid shaped bottle. I'm just gonna go get it. That's dumb.
It's a tetrahedron.
Tetra. Well, tetra would be. Yeah, I think it is a tetrahedron.
Well, tetrahedron would have a triangular shaped base instead of a square like a pyramid.
Four-sided triangle pyramid, canonical something. I have not seen the video, but
That's just an elongated D20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's a 16-sided. Oh, 17-sided? Yeah, it kind of feels like a funeral urn, Pinmonk, but this is Arte Azul. They have 3 different colors. And this is the Blanco, which surprisingly is one of the better tasting tequilas I've had.
You can make a nice candle out of that.
You could make a very good candle out of this. There's still a good amount of that Blanco. What did you think of the Blanco?
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
It was very smooth.
It's not the Crystal Skull bottle. No, Ghost Flipper.
All right, second book though.
Yes. What was the second book?
Changed my perspective.
This is the self-help book.
Sorta. It's a negotiation book, George.
Okay, I thought you were going to tell me you were jumping on the carnivore diet.
No,
and I
I've
was really going to
been-
get upset.
I've been really bad about knowing how to like negotiate without, I don't know how to put my foot down without offending somebody
Okay,
type of thing.
sure.
And I'm really bad at advocating for myself.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people actually struggle with that.
I absolutely think they do. But please continue. This is a book about advocating for oneself.
Yeah, it's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Never split the difference.
That's right.
Okay. So that idea that a good compromise is one where everyone walks away unhappy, not in the cards for
No, it's
Senor Voss?
that's kind of what the title implies. Splitting the difference, I think, is I guess he goes into it in the book where he's taking it very literally. So if do brown shoes go with this suit or do black shoes go with this suit? Well, let's split the difference and wear one of each.
No, it's always black shoes. Don't wear brown. Brown is an awful color.
Okay, well, I mean that's just an example, but I mean you could pick anything like that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I understand
With
the
this
point that you're
hairstyle,
getting
do I comb it on the left side or do I comb it on the right side?
You definitely want to go to the left.
Or do I split the difference and just?
Okay, I'm gonna go grab the book. I'm almost done.
Okay. But yeah, I highly recommend. Don't normally read like self-help books. I know it's a negotiation book, but and even more rarely recommend them. But I liked it.
This is the book. I'm not going to show it to them, not yet. Called Dreadful.
Okay, now you're showing.
Now I'm showing. Yes.
Okay.
So Dreadful is a book. I'm going to read the title, or I'm going to read the summary. It's bad enough waking up in a half-destroyed evil wizard's workshop with no eyebrows, no memories, and no idea how long you have been the Dreadlord before the Dreadlord whomever shows up to murder you horribly and then turn your skull into a goblet or something. It's a lot worse when you realize that Dreadlord whomever is you. Gav isn't really sure how he ended up with a castle full of goblins or why he has a princess locked in a cell. All he can do is play along with his own evil plan in hopes of getting his memories back before he gets himself killed. But as he realizes that nothing, from the incredibly tasteless cloak adorned with flames to the princess, is quite what it seems, Gav must face up to all the things the Dreadlord Gavrax has done, and he'll have to answer the hardest question of all: who does he want to be? Very fun. I have enjoyed this immensely. I've had a hard time putting it down. In fact, when I was at TPF, there was a couple of times where I could stay out and drink late with people or go back to the hotel and maybe read a little bit before falling asleep nicely. And I almost finished the book. I started the book in Texas. I almost finished the book in Texas. I'm very happy with this book so far. That was number one. I've read probably about 4
I feel
books.
like there's a missed joke there, George.
There was no missed joke.
I think there was.
Was there a missed joke?
Yeah, you were like, I could either hang out with these people or dreadful. Or dreadful.
Oh, because it's called Dreadful.
Because it's
I
called
like what you did there. Yeah. He had the biggest. Whoa! I almost
I
said
forgot
that
about
out
a
loud.
third book I read. By the way.
There's. Hold on. No Crystal Skull. There's an aqua cremation place here now. I could see them pouring the remains of that into the bottle urn. Oh, into this bottle urn.
All right, next book.
I didn't follow that, Pinbunk. But maybe we'll come back to that. The next book is, I haven't started it yet, but Jordan from Fliptronic said, have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet? Now, what's interesting is I went to Barnes today and I was looking at books. I normally never buy physical books anymore, almost ever, unless I've already read it. And what I want is to put the first edition, first print up onto a very special bookshelf.
Okay, you said you went to Barnes today. Are they no longer Noble?
It's Barnes and Noble. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. They did away with the Noble and now they're just Barnes. Good old Barnesy boy.
The third book I read was Hail Mary.
Oh, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
Yeah.
And why did you suddenly add that to your top 5 list of best books of all time?
Looking for sci-fi garbage.
Okay, it was not garbage.
I mean, it was not, but
No.
I'm just saying, my usual sci-fi stuff. Love I listen to all my books on Audible,
okay.
by the way, and it had the same narrator.
Oh my gosh. Not
as,
only awesome, but they gave Rocky such a, like, you get
Oh,
to
yeah.
hear Rocky's the cool sounds he makes. I didn't get
Exactly.
those sounds when I read the book physically.
Yeah,
So-
I'm wondering how it read that way. But also the narrator for that book also is We Are Legion, We Are Bob.
Oh my God, you've read that book series?
Oh yeah,
I love that book series. The Baba-verse series of 3 books
Bobaverse is great.
were amazing.
I'm trying to get Andrea into it because she's much more the sci-fi fantasy sort of teen type stuff, I guess. She was a big fan of Twilight back in the day.
Dude, there is nothing wrong. I know Twilight.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Twilight. I'm just trying to give you context for the types
I know
of books
Twilight
that
gets
she
shit
likes.
on constantly for the movies. It doesn't make a difference. Like, it was I have the first edition, first print. Zombie Fishers is rating with a party of 5. Zombie Fishers, welcome.
I see you.
My hat's off to you. Here we go. We're doing it right now. John, I was just about to defend Twilight. The Twilight series, the author, Stephanie Meyer, and keep in mind, this is up on the shelf upstairs. I have a first edition, first print of the first Twilight book. Twilight was, Stephanie Meyer captured the idea of adolescent, not love, infatuation, better than any other author, I think, has ever captured infatuation.
I can see that. I mean, I haven't read them. And haven't seen.
bloody cola.
I've seen a lot of videos hating on the movies, but I actually haven't seen the movies themselves.
It gets hated
So
on.
I don't have an opinion of my own on this at all.
It gets hated on, and Robert Pattinson, I think almost gave up as an actor because of the amount of crap he got for being a part of the Twilight series.
Sure.
Why no Twilight pin yet? That's a really good question. Yeah, Archimedes nuts.
I'm back, baby.
Said it out loud. Welcome. Pattinson did a fantastic Batman. Kyle, if you're on, or John, call out Kyle, because we're talking about Robert Pattinson acting as Batman in
feel like-
The Batman.
I feel like you're confusing Robert Pattinson with Paddington Bear.
Did I missay it?
Pattinson.
Robert Paddington Bear did a fantastic job. Not only in Mickey 17, which I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I actually like that film, but he did a great job acting it, and as the Batman. Zombie Fishers confirming he did such a great job as the detective Batman. Yeah, Pinmonk, sorry. It is tequila pronunciation. I'm just going to have another quick sip. It was really hard for me to actually read the back of Dreadful and
okay.
enunciate everything perfectly.
I've noticed that I read aloud faster than it enters my brain.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
you don't process before you read.
No.
That is really hard to get to, by the way. As a parent who has to read out loud, it took me a while to get to where I could read. I could read out loud what I was reading without processing.
I'm gonna blame it on my theater background, I guess.
That makes a
But-
lot of sense.
Or no, it's probably not that at all. I bet it's my telemarketing background. It's way more that. It's way more my telemarketing background.
That was good. It was sounds like you have a bad regulator. It kind of caught me off guard. I love the whole vibe of that movie. I love the character arc from a vengeful Batman to the Batman we all know. Zombie Fishers, thank you again. Yeah, CNK, this converted about 23 minutes ago into a Basement Dads episode.
Yeah.
So what we haven't talked about, by the way, and I know there's still more chats that we haven't caught up on yet, but we haven't talked about Portal.
I really, really want to like it, but I haven't. I like to hold my opinions until I play a machine if I can, unless I'm forced to have a first, talk about a first impression.
Sure.
I think it looks the art on it looks really good. I think it's cool that they are able to have modules that come down onto the lower 2/3
Yep.
of the play field a little bit more, but nothing is really jumping out at me in the way that I'm blanking on the name. Denisi, Denisi's game really wowed me with the way that it looked and the way that it shot.
You're talking about Final Resistance?
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. And from what I saw, it was with the trailer. I wasn't really seeing any of that.
Aye,
That's not to
Speaker.
say it's not there.
Sure.
And I don't know, from the little snippet trailer I saw, somebody was doing their little talk for everybody who was about to play the game, and I think he said something along the lines of, "If you don't like it, just play it more."
Responding to a bunch of comments about the P3, you will not find P3s on location. They don't hold up. Monkey coming in. I spoke my P3 piece earlier. Now practicing self-control. There is. Sorry, I'm just gonna start talking about
old
Portal.
system. That's my biggest beef with it at this point is that it's dated. It's a dated system.
It is. Hold on, wait a second. In terms of the P3's capabilities, it's pretty damn cool.
Okay.
Like if
Yeah,
I
don't
wanted
get me
to
wrong.
build a game and just worry about software, I would love to jump into Unity and program on probably the Final Resistance module. I think that's the coolest module so far.
I don't know. I guess I'll take that back. I'm regurgitating some stuff that I've heard in the zeitgeist that is pinball.
The pinball. So going back to Portal, Portal is cool. I'm just going to say it right there. The artwork, awesome. The
Yeah, agreed.
layout is actually really cool. And playing the game was kind of fun.
I like the call-outs too.
It's Mark Silk.
Yeah.
It's Mark Silk playing a character who then they presented that to Valve, and Valve has now incorporated the P3 game into the codex of
The Portalverse.
Yeah, the Portalverse now includes Marty or whatever his name is that Mark Silk voiced. So
Great.
they nailed it. It's awesome. They achieved everything, and I spent a lot of time talking with Jerry and with Ian and with Steven during TPF, who are just three amazing people. Ian, by the way, another streamer, Gamma Goat. Is it Gamma Goat? Ian has been a streamer, and we all got to watch him, design his own Birds game over time, in the same way that we got to see Mark Seiden design Metroid and then make his way into JJP, became a huge part of this team. And between talking with Steven, who's just one of the coolest people I've ever met, and Ian talking about everything that is in the game, what they did, and what's coming in the future, I love the energy of the team. Reggie, thank you, Brooklyn. Yes,
I think
Reggie.
the most positive thing I can say about it, without knowing anything about it really at all, is that of the companies that we have in 2025, if one of them was to make a Portal game, the multimorphic P3 system makes the most sense.
Absolutely makes the most sense.
Because you have like 25, 30 balls in the machine.
Yes, 15, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm overcompensating for them. But yeah, I mean, that way a ball can spit out and anywhere.
Yes.
And it feels like you just placed a portal there.
Yes. Yeah.
So totally makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And the fact that they created a something that goes over the bottom of the playfield for people who are P3 owners who felt that gap, talking to Manu and Jordan and others who are P3 owners who saw it and they're like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for, is something that allows you to modify the lower 2/3 of the playfield. They were in. And on top of that, I spoke to so many people who put in orders this weekend.
Great. That's awesome.
So fantastic for P3. I think based on the number of people I spoke to who bought the full module at 5,500, awesome for them. There's some issues. So, and I can't not say it, I played all 3 of their games, and they had 3 games out there. They brought 3 only. The far left game from day one, when I snuck in before the event, I was a jerk. Like somebody stepped away for a second to go to the bathroom. So like I just walked through the door and I was in there for 2.5 hours and I put a bunch of games on Portal while there was only a few people in the event. And eventually I got kicked out while I was on D&D. And it's fine. I'm just like, that's great. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I was here too early with my green wristband as opposed to the gold wristband. So I ended up leaving, but I got to put a bunch of Portal games on and I always went to the far left. And that's where I started on. And the far left module had a 90% failure rate on the launch pad actually making it to the lock. It either bounced off the wall and came out and fell into the vat of acid, or it never made it there in the first place. Let's assume software can fix that. I talked with Ian, and he's like, I have no doubt that we can resolve that. Better software will detect the incoming speed of the pinball, and we'll be able to better account for the speed and figure out exactly how much inertia and movement is needed to make that ball lock more consistent.
Yeah, I would also assume that software can cross that bridge. If games like Addams Family and Monster Bash can those
Consistent
games
with
can
the
have
flipper
an
thing.
algorithm
Yeah.
to auto flip with your Phantom flip on Monster Bash and the thing flip
Yeah.
in order to get it into the across the playfield. I forget what the shot's called. Graveyard, I think. But
Sure.
anyways, if those games can do it, why can't Portal?
Why can't Portal? They can get there.
Yeah.
So I think so. And once again, the development team it's comprised of, was it Michael Ocean, Steven Silver, and Ian from Gamma Goat. And I'm assuming there's a lot more people involved in that team who's developing this particular module, and they're just so excited, and they're just so involved, and they're just so happy about working on the product. It's amazing. CNK, I will get to Blues Brothers, which I didn't get to play, but we'll come back to that. But it's really weird to balance this. Like, I think they're gonna get it there, but I played the far left one, 90% failure on any of the shots. Any of the big shots that seemed like they were questionable. They just didn't work.
Okay.
I then played the middle one.
Was Gladys at least trash talking you?
Gladys
constantly?
trash talked the hell out of you while Mark Silk and Reggie talked you up.
Sure.
But didn't understand humans. It was great, and even as loud as it was in there, you really appreciated it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was actually awesome, right? So there was that. I played the middle one that same first day as soon as the event actually opened, and that was like 50 or 60% success. So we were 90% failure on the first one, but the middle one was hitting very consistently, all things considered, right? And then the third machine was the one without the lower playfield. It was just like the pro version of so
Wait, there's a lower playfield?
yeah. Yeah. So there's the back 2/3, and then for 5,500, you also get the
I'm
lower
thinking
play
like
field.
of a sub.
No. There's the piece that sits over the bottom
Gotcha.
2/3.
Gotcha.
That
Okay.
provides ramps and guardrails, and like it actually modifies the lower 2/3.
Yeah, we're gonna need new terms for this. stuff, apparently.
I'm gonna call the third pin was the pro version, and then the others were the LE.
Okay.
Just for simplicity's sake here. The LEs were cool. The pro version I played on Saturday for the first time, and I played it twice. I don't think I ever locked a ball. It was borderline 100% failure rate across the board, and the upper flipper for the upper play field was broken. Like, you'd flip and the flipper would get stuck up.
Okay. This was also, just to go back to how you started that statement, though, this was on the third day of the event.
This was second day of the event.
Second day of the
Yeah,
event.
so
Okay.
the event opened on Friday.
So it had been abused constantly. for
And there was
48
lines
hours before that.
And lines were 40 minutes to play Portal at best.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah, between Portal, I would say Portal and first Turner of all things, and weirdly Hans's helicopter game had some of the longest lines at TPF. It was great.
Hans was there.
Hans was there. Melody was there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they brought 2 of the helicopter games.
Yeah, I mean, they've been making a killing on that. They first actually developed that at
Malibu, exactly. Yeah, Pinball.
Hans is, I guess, I wear a lot of different hats at Pinball Jones, but Hans was there before I started working there.
Sorry, I'm going to even add more context. If I've ever told you all the story about how I got into pinball,
I think you have, but it's a great story, man. You should tell it again.
I'm going to tell it again. The layup right there. That was awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And so I go to Pinball Jones looking for Ghostbusters because I don't want to buy a pinball machine, but my ex-wife, my current wife at the time, really wanted a pinball machine. And I said, well, Ghostbusters is the newest machine, and it's a theme I can really appreciate because I love it. So I'm going to go find a Ghostbusters. Lo and behold, there was one in Fort Collins. Went to Pinball Jones, played it, and I'm like, screw pinball. This is going to be such a waste of money.
Can I pause you for a second?
Pause me. Do it.
Okay. Keep in mind that I was actually in the arcade at the same time with my wife at the time, now ex-wife.
Okay.
Continue.
Got it. You were there.
Basement dads.
But just to, basement dads. Just to the left of me, there's this guy playing Medieval Madness. I didn't know what it was at the time, but there was a guy playing it, and he sees me kind of hitting the flippers, and he looks over and he's like, there's more to it than what you were just doing there, right? Like, he wasn't being a jerk. He was genuinely like this nice person, and his name was Levi.
Yeah, and you were just clacking
I was just hitting the flippers.
You were clacking the paddles, man.
Yeah, that's it. And he's like, okay,
didn't know.
Here, jump on this. I want you to take over for me. And he trapped up. And he's like, step 1, this is trapping up. Look at the game and look to see where shots are lit. Now, I want you to hit this lit shot. And I like completely missed it. And he goes, okay, it's cool. Try and trap up. So I tried to trap up and I drained. He goes, it's okay. You got another ball. Now I want you to just plunge it and try and trap up. Awesome. I was able to do it. Now hit that shot. I hit it. And it was so cool.
Yeah.
And then he like just walked me through playing Medieval Madness. And he goes, okay, now go play Ghostbusters again with this little bit of knowledge that I get. He just like ushered me through pinball for 20 minutes. And he said, now go play Ghostbusters again. And, I'm going to use my one F-bomb, but fuck Ghostbusters. I do love that game, but I also hate it. And I had a good time on it. I understood so much more.
I just hate it.
You just hate it. But he got me there. And then as I was walking out, I had a beer, so I went and tabbed out. And I was walking out. He's like, there's a league on Wednesday nights. So I ended up coming back the next Wednesday. Kim at the time was running league, and she paired me up with Hans and Melody.
That was the first league.
And that was my first league.
No, that was the first league that you and I played in together.
We played in together, exactly.
I mean, not directly with each other.
No. But I was in a team with Hans, or on a not a team so much. I was in the same group as Hans and Melody and one other person. I don't know who that was, but Melody is impossible to forget, and Hans was just so awesome because he taught me about nudging, and he would explain the rules of every game beforehand. So
my experience with Hans is entirely different. Entirely different.
So the nicest guy ever teaches me over 8 weeks how to play pinball. And this is the same guy who created Malibu, the game. But now I want to hear your introduction.
I got it like figured out that there's rules to pinball like back in 2008, I think. But just didn't like get into it, I guess. I lived in Iowa at the time. So there wasn't like there was a Medieval Madness, which is great. Don't get me wrong. You can't hate on that game.
It's so fun.
Right. But you can hate on the other game that was at the only other game that I could find in the area in this small ass college town in Iowa at the time, and that was Rolling Stones.
So 2 games in all of Iowa. Pinmonk is agreeing with you. There wasn't pinball in Iowa.
Yeah, in 2008 there were 2 games there. One of them was Rolling Stones. The other was Medieval Madness. But my experience with Hans was, I'm running the tournaments at Pinball Jones these days, but way back then we were always just doing 3-strike tournaments, and they were all head to head.
Yep. And League was high score, if you remember back in the day.
Yeah. League was high score. It was not anything IFPA, nothing. That kind of thing. We were marching to the beat of our own drum back then. I remember having to play head to head against Hans on Ghostbusters, and it's so funny that you mentioned that he explained all of the rules.
Well, that was Levi, not Hans.
Oh, I thought you said Hans.
No, Levi was the guy I walked into who is Hans's son.
Yeah, no, Levi will do that.
Which I've actually forgot to mention, but Levi walked me through Medieval Madness and then told me to go now jump back on Ghostbusters.
Well, let's pretend that you said Hans.
Okay, cool. Let's just pretend it's a totally different person.
Hans and I walk up to Ghostbusters, and he asked me, do you know anything about this game? And I said, no. And he said, me neither, and walked up and plunged and then like just blew up the game immediately without saying anything. They're very different personalities when it comes to gameplay, I guess. I won't say sportsmanship, but just the way they approach competition, I guess, which is sportsmanship, I guess. So it is sportsmanship.
I feel like that was just you, because Hans could not have been nicer and more helpful to me in a competition aspect. He was always like, George, no, hold on, trap up. This is what you need to do. Like, this is what he just walked me through 8 weeks of how to play different games.
Sure. I think my personality style was a little bit more standoffish.
Okay, cool.
So in his defense.
Okay, got it. You were standoffish and I was the idiot who knew nothing, and he felt a sense of ownership because Kim paired me with.
Back in those days, I was climbing up 300 feet just to get to my office. I was a wind tech back then.
I remember when you were a wind tech.
And had to spend like, I don't know, it was like an hour and a half commute to get to work, and I also was on call all the time. So I did not have a life back then, and I wasn't very happy about it.
Okay.
But
it's so funny. You were such a positive person.
I am?
I thought you were always very positive. Like, you put your headphones on to play pinball, which always comes off as like somebody who doesn't want to talk to other people. But afterwards, you're always like, hey, man, you want to... What's your strategy? What's this? You were always so positive. I thought of you as a positive person.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm also very pessimistic, and like when something's like not going right, I internalize it.
Okay.
Instead of externalize,
Sure.
like a lot of people. So
Yeah. Okay.
A little too much.
So
about
Portal.
me guys, but yeah, Portal.
We were talking about Portal, and that somehow got to Malibu because of the lines. But Portal, I think has an opportunity.
Is that
to
what
be-
they're calling the copter game now, by the way?
It is called Malibu, yeah.
It's called Malibu.
It is
For
now called
years,
Malibu.
It did not have a name.
It's now called
So
Malibu.
we were trying to come up with a name for it at Pinball Jones. I'll have to let the staff know that it's now called Malibu.
It's now called Malibu. Yeah.
We were talking about, I think I called it, since it's called Beacons, Beacon Bay.
Okay.
That one didn't really sell. But
It has beacons, though. I mean,
it does, but it says nothing about a
what about Bacon Bay?
Bacon Bay. Oh, just... Yeah, sure. No, I think the one that got landed on, the one that everybody calls it at Pinball Jones, is Chopper Island.
Okay, Chopper Island would have been pretty good, actually. Instead of Malibu.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get to the chopper. It's like Chopper Island, yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% a Whirlybird game,
Yep.
but they just can't call it Whirlybird because there's already a Whirlybird.
Do you know that the word whirligig actually has to do you know what a whirligig is?
No, what's a Whirlygig, George?
So it's like a straw that has a spinning fan on it. Like the kind you can go
okay,
you can blow into it. That's a whirligig.
like in the same vein of a pinwheel.
A pinwheel. There you go. A pinwheel and a
but
whirligig.
I think you're
are-
thinking what you just described is more of a Ferris wheel type motion.
Nope.
No,
It
okay.
just spins like if this
A
is the
whirligig
straw.
is identical to a pinwheel.
Yes, they are synonymous.
Okay,
Um,
that's also how a wind turbine works. See how I brought it back, guys?
yeah, nice. Callback. Boom. First one of the night. Yes. Nailed it. I feel like we should have a callback counter. Anyway, what else was
Movies. Could go
TPF.
movies.
I did bring up Mickey 17 earlier. Did you see that?
No.
Okay.
And I'm not even. I'm kind of drawing a blank. Normally, I can
Mickey
dig
17.
in my garbage brain and think if I've seen a snippet of a trailer and be like, oh yeah.
Robert Pattinson, Robert Paddington Bear, ends up being an expendable on a trip to another world for humans. So every time he dies, he gets reprinted. And this is about Mickey 17, version 17 of himself.
Okay. Do the memories transfer
They
some
do.
way in some sort of altered carbon type of thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, they find a way to transfer memories, and he does remember, I think, an overwhelming majority, and it's about what happens when Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 coexist accidentally.
Gotcha.
Yep,
Okay.
and that's all from just the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away. I refuse to say anything more about the movie because I don't want to give anything away. I'm awful about spoilers.
Okay. Since my girlfriend recently moved in, we've been trying to. We've been together for a little while now, but we've been trying to figure out if, like, it's time to throw out a bunch of stuff that I have, time to throw out a bunch of stuff that she has. We have all of these different DVDs.
Yes.
And when's the last time we watched a DVD? Right. So yeah, we it's like, hey, before we throw it out or do whatever we're gonna do with it, maybe not throw it in the trash, but Goodwill or have it a friend digitize it or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of options, but yeah, I wanted to introduce her to my some of my favorite movies, so or directors at the very least.
Okay.
And so we tried out some Wes Anderson.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize Wes Anderson was up in your high list. So
Oh, yeah.
how many Wes Anderson films did you do? Don't list them, just how many? The
No,
number.
we just did one.
One. Okay, so if you had to choose one Wes Anderson film
To show to my girlfriend.
to show to your girlfriend, I would do I'd probably do the hotel one with Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel would have been my top pick, but I didn't have that one on DVD.
Ooh, Brooklyn Pin coming in with Fantastic Mr. Fox though. Fantastic
I know that's a
Mr.
favorite of
Fox.
yours. It's not
so good.
It's not as up there for me. I enjoyed it, But and I think she would like it a lot.
Okay.
But it's not up there for me.
So which one did you do?
Royal Tenenbaums.
You did the Royal Tenenbaums. Okay.
And she hated it.
And I actually don't like the Royal Tenenbaums. Like
Okay.
I've tried to watch it a few times and I love Wes Anderson's style. I don't like the people. Like they were meant to be all assholes and
Yeah.
that's exactly who they are and I didn't
Yeah.
like them.
It's a Wile E. Coyote story, George.
Grand Budapest was fantastic.
Yeah, Grand Budapest crosses that gap of of
you
where
like the people.
It's kind of a similar story, and they're still kind of assholes.
There's some assholes, but they're good. I also
They're assholes, but they're a little bit more likable. Let's put it that way.
they're likable. Between that and Fantastic Mr. Fox, I didn't like Isle of Dogs all that much.
I never saw Rockets or Asteroid City.
I did not see Asteroid City. I don't think it was even rated all that
I
well.
actually really like Moonrise Kingdom.
So here's the thing. For whatever reason, I never saw Moonrise Kingdom, even though I had tickets to go see it at the theater with my now ex-wife. I never went back and watched it. I need to go watch it because I've heard nothing but great things, and it's Wes Anderson. But for some reason, weirdly, it never got watched.
No, it's I think it's his best love story.
Actually, okay, and that's what I was trying to think of, the French Dispatch.
Oh, French Dispatch was
I actually
great.
liked
It's
French
really
Dispatch, but it wasn't better than Fantastic Mr. Fox or definitely not better than Grand Budapest.
What was the other one that I had in mind? Oh, I didn't what's the train one? Chat, what's the train one? The Unlimited. I can't remember the name of it. Well, not memorable. So, the other director that we went on to
Okay.
was Coen Brothers.
Oh, hold on. I love this that you're starting with the directors. So if there's
Darjeeling Unlimited, thank you.
Oh, Darjeeling Unlimited. Yeah, I never saw it actually.
I maybe saw it, but I think I saw bits of it, and that's why I don't remember it.
But if you could,
I didn't like sit down and give it a good college try.
Okay, so if you could choose one Coen Brothers movie, Brooklyn Pin is going with Raising Arizona, which I need to go back
that one's
and
great.
watch.
That's a good pick.
I would do Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Lebowski.
I love The Big Lebowski, but if I had to choose one or the other, and it's funny because I was talking about Big Lebowski all night last night.
I have a very out there second place, but I just want to make sure that I'm.
Did you watch The Big Lebowski with her?
It. Yes, we watched Big Lebowski.
How did you prep her for The Big Lebowski? Because I feel like no one.
Before this, we had watched another Coen Brothers movie, which she hated.
Which was?
No Country for Old Men.
I hate No Country for Old Men. I hate that film for one moment, okay? The main
I loved it.
character, Josh Brolin,
was great.
ends up in a situation at the end of the movie where he's laying down, but you never see his face, so you're not sure if it was him, and it doesn't make sense that it was him, because how could the main character end up in that situation if they don't let you know for certain it's him? And I hated that because the entire rest of the movie, instead of paying attention at the theater to what was going on, I was like, no, there's no way that was him. There's no way that was him. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? Nope, they're ending the film. The credits are rolling. I'll bet you I literally waited until after the credits to see if Josh Brolin was still alive at the end of the film.
Oh, no, he died, dude.
I know, but they never showed his face, so I never felt closure on his death. And I hated that. It was such a poor move on their part.
You must feel a lot like his wife did then.
Exactly. I was so I loved every part of that
filmmaking,
movie.
George. It's
No,
putting you in the place of the character.
No, Pinmonk, wait a second. Dark City was made by who? I love the movie Dark City, but if you tell me that the Coen brothers did Dark City, I'm going to flip a table right now. Did the
I don't-
Coen brothers do Dark City?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's not their
I'm
style.
gonna look it up though. Regardless,
Okay. Pin
Okay,
Monk says
okay.
not Coen. I
Okay.
love Dark City.
I have an out there second Coen Brothers second place pick.
Well, hold on.
after Big
No,
Lebowski.
don't say it yet. I would
won't.
go Big Lebowski, honestly. I would go Oh Brother and then Big Lebowski.
No, Brothers below this one. It's good. I'm not saying it's
Brother
bad.
is
There's
one of the
no-
greatest films of all time.
There's no bad Coen Brothers flick.
Yes, there is.
except
Hail
for
Caesar.
Maybe, yeah, that one's bad.
That was
That one is bottom of the list. I haven't seen Lady Killers yet.
Lady Killers.
And
Oh
that
my
one-
God.
that one might
was
be
with
down there,
We
too.
shall have waffles forthwith. It was okay. There was a lot of really cool characters in it. I just didn't care for the story. Hudsucker Proxy. Wait, Pin Monk, you mentioned earlier that you like Hudsucker Proxy. I didn't know that was a Coen Brothers
That's
film,
it.
but it makes a lot of sense.
That's my very close second place pick. Is
Hudsucker Proxy.
Hudsucker Proxy.
You know, for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the hula hoop scene alone, where they can't sell the hula hoops.
Yeah.
And then the store owner, like, he's just buy any product, get one of these pieces of crap for free, and it starts rolling down the street, and this kid like picks it up and starts.
Wait a second. Was if you still have your phone, you may have to look this up, but was Intolerable Cruelty, was that the Coen brothers? Because that is going to be my number 3. It would be Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Big Lebowski, and then Intolerable Cruelty.
It is, and I did not know it was.
Intolerable Cruelty is one of the greatest films of all time. That is the story of a divorce attorney who falls in love with one of his clients' ex-wives. Pin Monk, you've never seen that.
I don't think I've seen it either.
Y'all, please. I cannot stress enough. First of all, George Clooney is a comedian. He's a comedic genius. His timing is amazing. No, I mean, I've been divorced. You've been divorced. You're going to get some of it. You do
I've
not
been
have
divorced
to be
twice as much as you have.
you have a 200% increase on divorce over me because I'm never getting married again, ever. Because no.
Fair.
Now, please watch Intolerable Cruelty, everyone here. That's number 3 on my Coen Brothers film list. Okay?
Okay.
Every scene, every moment in that movie adds to this idea of somebody who should never enjoy love, who absolutely falls in love and is just a romantic at heart. Please, Pin Monk, watch the trailer. It's so good.
I'll give you my number 3 Coen Brothers.
What is your number 3?
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
You know what's interesting is I wasn't the biggest fan of that initially, but I had to listen
it
to
again,
an
man.
academic breakdown on the end sequence of the Ballad of Buster Scruggs to understand what it was all about to begin with, and suddenly the entire series of short stories made a lot more sense.
Wait, sorry, what made it make sense?
So, watching it, I did not realize that the characters at the end were all dead in the final sequence.
Or were they?
They are dead.
Okay.
And they're on their way to the underworld is where they're being taken.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that. And that
Down to Fort Morgan, George.
I'm not entirely remembering the theme, I feel like, but the academic breakdown of the theme is that death is how meaningless death is I think really what the goal of it was, and then it broke it down even further and talked about why at the end the 4 people who were in the carriage on their way to like the River Styx.
That story of the anthology is loaded. It is
Yeah.
just you are just getting bombarded
Okay.
with information. I feel like if I could read the screenplay, I would be able to understand it quite a bit more than you are in the actual
And
scene.
just
as
watching and experiencing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Note, if you've ever read screenplays, there's not a lot of direction there.
It's very well written, but it's
It is,
also
yeah.
5 people sitting in a stagecoach. There's not a whole lot of blocking
No.
to read into.
No. Another director or a group of directors, I'd be interested to know what you would recommend. But if I said the Wachowskis, what would you recommend as your number one Wachowskis film?
I don't feel like I've seen a whole lot of them, and of the ones that I have seen, I'm not usually that impressed, with the exception of The Matrix.
So The Matrix, we'll say the first Matrix. Pin Monk, yes. Intolerable Cruelty was absolutely Coen style dialogue. For sure. I'm glad you watched the trailer. Please go watch it. Oh, Kick. God.
Man,
But
there's so many good ones with Coen brothers.
so many good ones.
It's at a certain, except for Hail Caesar.
Also, the other one I was not a fan of, and maybe I need to go back and watch it with a weathered eye. The Monument Men, I wasn't a fan of either.
I think I missed that one. Also very high on my list. This is very much a sleeper flick of theirs.
Okay.
A Serious Man.
I
It's
haven't even heard of it.
hilarious, dude. It's such dry, it's the driest of dry humor.
Okay.
Another one that's up there that we haven't mentioned, and if you've mentioned it in chat, then George is giving you a poster or something. Fargo.
Oh, Fargo. So I have a little bit of a story with Fargo. I went into that movie thinking it was a serious movie, like a thriller. I did not know it was a comedy. So the first time I saw it, I was just like perturbed
What the hell
by
is this?
by the Minnesotan accents, and then it just like everything that it's not Gary Busey. I forget the name of the actor who just continues making small mistakes that like snowball into bigger and bigger mistakes. I thought The Monuments Men was a Coen film.
I'm not seeing it here.
Pinmonk is saying no. They maybe produced it then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Their names were on it. Somewhere.
True Grit is also on the list.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of True Grit.
Bad Santa is also on the list.
What? That's not a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah, Joel Coen is an executive producer. at
Oh,
the very
okay. He
least
got an
for it.
EP credit.
But
Okay. Coen
no, yeah, he's not the director for it.
Monuments Men. Their mission. Now I'm Googling it. It was written and produced. Nope. Okay. You know what? I'm really happy because I did not like the Monuments Men, and I thought the Coens were involved. So that helps. Hail Caesar, still not a great film, but I can take that one off.
I mean, there was one good part of Hail Caesar, I will say, and that was No Dames.
No Dames?
The
The musical with
yeah.
the guy, I can't think of his name, the sailor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the only good part of that movie.
Pinmonk saying it was the end. The end was the only
Yeah,
good part.
that one's good too.
No, sorry. Going back to the Wachowskis, I'm gonna throw out Speed Racer
Okay.
and V for Vendetta.
I don't think I've actually V for Vendetta was a good one too. I don't think I've actually seen Speed Racer because I was always waiting to watch it on LSD.
You don't need to watch it on
don't
LSD.
think I need to, but
it's a family film.
even better. I don't need like
It's a family appropriate film.
right.
And
I need to be
amazing.
like babied if I'm
No.
doing any of that.
Pin Monk, add Speed Racer to that. Susan Sarandon, John Goodman, whatever the name of the guy is who played Speed, Christina Ricci. The bad guy is the bad guy from V for Vendetta, the first guy that gets killed. No, Pin Monk, I'm going to throw a pinball machine. Speed Racer was amazing. Speed Racer to this day, like, I have a little bit of space for movies where I get the dedicated movie poster, and like Bullet Train will eventually be a foreign, like, Japanese movie poster. You do not need drugs to enjoy that film. You are ruining this right now. Speed Racer is like a 10 out of 10 style film. It's up there for me in the list of some of the coolest movies ever because it is family appropriate and achieves everything that you look for in a hero, like old school 1960s or 70s style hero that triumphs no matter what because they did all the right things. Like it's such a wonderful throwback and achieves that sense of wholesome happiness.
All right, I think we pretty much covered all of them. All of the well-known ones. Their very first movie before Raising Arizona was Blood Simple in 1984.
Sure.
Miller's Crossing in 1990. I do remember watching Barton Fink, which came out in 91.
It is, Princess Bride and Speed Racer, way to go, by the way, when describing something like that. They're in the same genre. I think so. And Princess Bride is better, for certain.
Yep. Burn After Reading. I don't know if we mentioned that one.
It was okay. The Men Who Stare at Goats. It was okay.
Men Who Stare at Goats isn't on here.
Was that not the Coens?
No. It was, it kind of felt like it in a way, but I can see that why you'd make that assumption.
That's a lot of greater thans. I think Princess Bride, by the way, is better than Speed Racer, but 17 greater thans on Speed Racer. Speed Racer is a fantastic film.
Go Speed Racer, go. Have not seen Drive Away Dolls, which is their most recent in 2024.
I did see that. I went to the theater to go see that. It was not good.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to drive-in season this year.
I'm always excited about drive-in season, but not a lot of other people can get excited about drive-ins because they don't have access to a drive-in.
Sure. I think when the drive-in opens up, which should be end of the next month here.
It is May. I think they open for what's the holiday in May?
Cinco de Mayo?
what's the end of the month? That's not a holiday. Sorry, the actual federal holiday in May is Memorial Day. There we go. They open Memorial Day weekend every year.
Which federales are we talking about here?
Cinco de Mayo is an American holiday. But it's not an actual celebrated holiday. Thank you, Pinball. The Mexican government does not celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
When I once it's drive-in season, I have something in mind that I'm gonna do.
I have that. That's my camper right there.
Oh yeah.
I take the camper to the drive-in in Fort Collins all the time.
My plan though is go through a drive-through.
Okay. And then do the drive-in.
Hold on though. There's a middle step.
Okay, got it.
Go through the drive-through.
The drive-through.
Kind of I'm looking for a fancier burger place, maybe something like Culver's.
Okay.
Okay.
There's an In-N-Out in Loveland.
Okay. Well, the second part of this is going to determine whether I can go make Loveland happen or not.
Pinmonk, your parents may have been alcoholics.
But
please continue.
Go to a drive-in. Go to a drive-in car wash.
Okay.
and then go to a drive-in movie.
Got it. A drive-in, a drive-through. Sorry.
Yeah, drive-through,
Hey.
drive-through, drive-in.
Wait, the first one is a fast food
Drive-through.
drive-through,
Drive-through car wash.
drive-through car wash, and then a
Drive-in
drive-in
movie.
I would love that.
Yeah. It's the trifecta.
That needs to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that. We're gonna do that this summer. Are there any other directors that need to be a part, I feel like, of like bringing someone up to speed? Oh, how about Steven Soderbergh? Christopher Nolan, perhaps?
Oh, I'm a big Nolan fan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Way back in the day, I would repeatedly watch
Kevin Smith?
ish.
Oh my God.
I love
Clerks,
Mallrats.
Chasing Amy, Mallrats, Dogma.
Chasing Amy did not age well.
No,
it did not age well, man.
No, Chasing Amy to this. Oh, John Hughes. Nothing from John Hughes aged well, unfortunately. 16 Candles, Breakfast
Yeah.
at Breakfast at
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. There we go.
St. Elmo's Fire really didn't age well at all.
I don't even know that movie.
Just don't.
Yeah, no. Most of them did not age. Home Alone aged okay.
But Memento, I would watch the crap out of Memento.
Oh,
way back.
God. Don't tell me you love Tenet.
I would have loved Tenet if I could understand anything that they said in that movie. The audio package was awful.
I was talking with Kyle about Tenet. Oh, no, sorry. You mean like actually audible, like you couldn't hear.
You need subtitles to watch that movie.
Oh,
because
I
there's
watch
no-
every movie with subtitles,
Well,
always.
So do I, but unless I'm watching it in the theater where they're
Oh, which there are no
upon
subtitles.
release.
You know, the last time I watched a film with subtitles in the theater, it was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. Tim Burton. It's interesting. Pin Monk, it's hard because Tim Burton hasn't directed a ton of movies. He's produced a lot, though.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's early Tim Burton.
Sure.
I don't like later Tim Burton stuff.
For example, like Tim Burton did not direct what's the name of that?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No. Sorry, maybe he didn't direct that either. But Nightmare
in
Before
Wonderland.
Christmas. He was a producer on Nightmare Before Christmas. He was a producer on... He directed some episodes of Wednesday, says Pin Monk. I actually loved the first season of Wednesday. It was great. On top of that, like that was the version of horror that I was okay with.
That was one of those
For
things
Zoe.
that just got way too much hype for me to be able to watch it.
St. Elmo's Fire was not Hughes, says Obi-Wan with the Force.
Okay. What was the other one with Rob Lowe? Wasn't it Outsiders or something like that? Was that John Hughes?
I don't know. Oh, and he's directing Wednesday season 2 episodes. What did you think? Totally unrelated to anything here. What did you think of Beetlejuice 2?
Did not see it.
Okay. I don't know that you're missing much. Like, I was genuinely disappointed, not just in the film, but with how Beetlejuice was treated.
Okay.
Like, the character Beetlejuice did exactly everything he said. He came to the rescue and then was shat upon. And I'm bothered by that. Dice.
I don't know. I'm skeptical about. I think Beetlejuice was great in its time, and I have a feeling that they've toned down the character for the times we're living in now. When's the last time that you watched the original Beetlejuice, George?
I don't know. I
'Cause-
just watched V for Vendetta
'Cause it's
last week.
Pretty raunchy.
It is. And he's not less it's not the raunchiness. He's still disgusting.
Okay.
And they provide backstory for it. I'm giving some of the things away. Sorry for the spoilers. It's just, once again, they made a promise, and then the main characters found a way to get like, he was cheated for a second time. And I find that really frustrating, because if you really boil it down to like, you asked for help, you got it, save happened, and then you find some way to get out of the repercussions. Like, Beetlejuice shouldn't have been treated that poorly. I don't know why I'm on like the Beetlejuice bandwagon of he was mistreated, but he was mistreated. It very directly in the second. And it walked away. I walked away thinking like he was genuinely treated poorly.
Okay.
Oh, James Cameron.
I wish I had some context to go off of here.
Obi-Wan with the Force pointing out James Cameron also being a really good one. Terminator 2, Aliens, also
Yeah.
The Cocoon, right?
Yes.
And I was just about to say, here's the thing. The Abyss is not underrated with the theatrical release. The Abyss is underrated for the extended version that added justification. Oh, Cocoon was Ron Howard. Thank you, Pinmonk. The Abyss extended edition, where they actually explain the conversation that happens between the main character and the aliens, adds a level of depth to the story that you didn't know was there. Like, when the tidal wave that's about to wipe out most of human civilization stops and is just sitting there waiting for this conversation to finish up, now it makes sense. And The Abyss at that point is fantastic, but the theatrical release, I think, was a bit of a letdown, because this was edited out to try and hit some sort of an 1.5 to 2 hour mark.
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, I'll never get tired of rewatching Alien or Alien 2 or
Whoa, Aliens.
Right. Or Predator. Or Predator 2. I'll skip Predator 2, actually.
No, come on, dude. Danny Glover.
I only
in
have
Predator
so much time,
2?
man. If one of those 4 is going to go out, it's going to be Predator 2.
Okay. Justified. Amika Cami says, speaking of James Cameron, guess what was picked up by the shipping company for its journey to Tasmania today? Amiga Cami is getting an Avatar. It sounds like, at least.
Dang. All right.
I have never heard, Dice, of Stay Alive. Also, Dice, what are you doing up at 1:15 in the morning? You are never here at this point. I feel like this late in the stream. A Stern Terminator 3? Terminator 3 was not good.
Okay, another director that's kind of a favorite of mine, John Carpenter.
Oh my God. Okay, so please tell me why The Thing would make for a perfect pinball machine.
Wondering how you do it. Because there is a mode in the game that you're standing in front of right now where there's a bunch of decoys.
Sure, but what if you could put out some sort of a bad pinball that starts taking away from your score?
Yeah, I would say that you're starting to sound like John Papaduke. With the colored ball.
Big Trouble in Little China.
In Circus Voltaire that never happened.
There's so many classics Pinmonk is pointing out from John Carpenter.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Not Escape from New York, though.
Escape from LA, though.
Escape from LA. I would give that. I don't know why. I was not a fan of Escape from New York.
Yeah, it was. It might have been before our time.
Maybe that's it. I love Russell Crowe.
Arguably, Escape
Crowe.
from LA is the worst of the
Kurt
two
Russell.
movies.
Kurt Russell.
If you, from a critic standpoint, between Escape from LA and Escape from New York, LA is the much worse movie.
I don't care. I watched Escape from LA at the theater.
Oh yeah, I grew up watching Escape from LA.
Like, doesn't he
very,
surf?
very much too young to be watching that
At
movie,
one point?
according to my parents, on cable when they
Sure.
were
Okay. Are we missing any other? Wait, should there be a? Sorry, who's the guy who did 2001: A Space Odyssey and
Kubrick?
Kubrick? Yes,
Yeah, we need a Shining machine.
Shining would be amazing. Also, fuck Stephen King. I'm using my second instance of an F-bomb here in the stream.
Okay.
Because Stephen King
We're doing a
is so-
podcast, George. It's no longer the
Sure,
stream,
sure. Ridley
so.
Scott is a legend. Supernoid pointing out Ridley Scott, who did Gladiator. I can think of nothing else that Ridley Scott has done.
I mean, if MJ were here, he'd
Sure, I know. Where is MJ when you
he'd
need
be
him?
like,
Alien.
why are we talking about Spielberg?
Wait, Ridley Scott. I thought you guys said that the other guy did Alien.
James Cameron and
Ridley Scott work
are-
together
yeah,
for
they
Alien.
work very much together.
But
so.
Alien was cool. I'm not gonna lie. Aliens is where I jumped in. As long as they both did Aliens, I'm happy.
Sure, they're very different movies, though. I mean, it's the same story. I think if you're gonna go, the reason they're both such huge successes is one is a space horror,
Okay,
and the other is a space action.
sure. Aliens. Sorry, Cameron. The Ridley Scott is done. He's off the list now because he did Alien, not Aliens.
What about Alien Resurrection, though?
Multiple directors, and you can see where they took over at different points.
Kind of can.
Kevin Smith loves to talk about how messed up that film is because it was great right up until the halfway point, and then it got weird. David Fincher. Blade Runner is Ridley Scott. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Wayland Yutani Corporation.
Okay. Oh man, Tarantino. So we've got Pulp Fiction. Reservoir Dogs would be another really good one.
I like a lot of Tarantino flicks too.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't like anything he's done new. I would say the last newest. Oh man, Joss Whedon. That's right. Joss Whedon came in. Joss Whedon, Amiga Cammy, I think did the first half of Alien 4, and then it got pulled back. I would say Kill Bill 1 and 2, Django Unchained, and I have like nothing he's done since then. I did not like Inglourious Bastards. I did not like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No Hateful Eight.
I never saw Hateful Eight.
Okay. You might
Dr.
like Hateful
Horrible
Eight.
should get a pinball machine.
Hey, I don't know. I guess the big criticism against Hateful Eight is that it's a Western version of Reservoir Dogs.
Okay. I liked Reservoir Dogs. I like Four Rooms. I feel like when Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez get together and create something as amazing as Desperado, or half of Four Rooms, or where else did they get together? I know Robert Rodriguez jumped in and finished up Alita Battle Angel, but I don't think Tarantino was involved at all. That was Cameron and
Why can't I
Robert
think of the
Rodriguez.
name right now? I know the movie you're talking about, George, but I cannot think of it. Somebody in chats. Dust Till Dawn. That's it.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
That was written by Tarantino and directed by Robert Rodriguez. It is fantastic film. I love it. I want more of that.
Yeah. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
I want more.
And then there was also Grindhouse.
I never actually saw
Oh,
Grindhouse.
damn, dude. I watched it in the theaters. It was great. Both features.
Yeah, it was a 2-feature situation.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Very cool. I love that idea. I just missed out on it. And Rodriguez ruined Boba Fett completely. And a couple of Mando episodes. That sucks. My favorite Mando episode, by the way, is when the two stormtroopers are just talking about how horrible things are when they have Grogu in the sack. And they're just sitting there talking about, like, I don't want to bring Grogu back just to get shot by some douchebag, like, dark Sith character. Like, it was a very real conversation you would expect stormtroopers to actually have in a post, in a Republic era of
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
of the world,
Star Wars needs more stormtrooper banter. 'cause-
which was Taika Waititi's episode, mind you. And I know Dude went off the rails.
He did go a little off the
He went
rails.
very off the rails, but I think that episode to me was the best Mandalorian episode.
The man did have some genius though with What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows, honestly, the best Marvel film ever made was directed by Taika Waititi in Ragnarok. Not Love and Thunder though.
No,
He
not
phoned that shit in. I'm sorry.
at all.
That's him going off the rails.
Actually, if you ask MJ is not a fan of Ragnarok. He could see the signs of it beforehand, but where it was all a little too jokey. Everything was, even in Ragnarok, if you go back to Ragnarok, it's a good popcorn flick. I personally enjoy Ragnarok.
I think Ragnarok is the best Marvel film to date.
And I'm kind of doing a sin here of telling you what MJ's perspective is instead of
Sure, you're
letting
speaking-
MJ
yeah.
tell you his perspective.
Uh-huh.
on it. But I remember him telling me that he didn't like Ragnarok for all of the same reasons that people don't like Love and Thunder.
People don't like Love and Thunder because it is a bad movie.
It's
like objectively, it
but
is a struggle.
It's a struggle, but it was trying. It tried and failed to do all of the same things that Ragnarok tried and succeeded to do, which was to make everything a joke. Nothing in that movie meant anything at all.
Pinmonk is saying Iron Man is the best Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the original one, right? Or I
It
guess
is, well,
technically you have Hulk before.
you have
that,
X-Men,
sorta,
you
kinda.
have Blade.
Sorry, it's the original MCU movie.
MCU Phase 1.
Yeah, we'll put it that way.
Sure, yeah. Welcome to the multiverse, Logan. You're coming in at a bit of a low point. Yep. Richard Donner, The Goonies, Lethal Weapon, Superman. Donner, not a bad one. What about Harold Ramis, actually, as a director as well? So,
I'm drawing a blank here.
Harold Ramis was Egon in Ghostbusters. And
Oh, okay.
he was the director of many films, including Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day is fantastic.
Yes.
I cannot, without looking it up, I can't draw what else he's done. I know he's been involved in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember liking most, if not all of them.
Okay.
So,
Also, I definitely would put Guardians 1 as a better film overall than Iron Man. Obi-Wan, I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to agree with you. I would still put Ragnarok above both, though. Groundhog Day as a pin could work. If Groundhog Day as a pin could work,
Wow. Yeah, Groundhog Day as a pin could really work.
keep doing the same mode over and over, but looking for the best path.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if that works, could
This is the best premise for theme integration that I've heard for a
Could-
movie ever.
But what about Live, Die, Repeat being even a better opportunity for a pin?
Yeah, if anybody cared about that movie, then it'd
That
be
was
awesome.
such a good movie.
I agree. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, which Live, Die, Repeat is not the name of the movie.
It's not. It's called something else, but we're calling it Live, Die, Repeat. And Supernoid saying that is the best Tom Cruise movie, in my opinion. I would put Jerry Maguire above Live, Die, Repeat, but I would go Jerry Maguire, then Live, Die, Repeat. Edge of Tomorrow. Thank you, Supernoid. That's it. Monty Python, Time Bandits. So Terry Gilliam, Brazil, 12 Monkeys. No, he did 12 Monkeys? That's crazy. Fear and Loathing. I have never seen Vanilla Sky, Dice. It's one of
it's
those
great.
movies I need to go back and watch. No one ruin it for me, please.
It's kind of heavy, man. No, nobody's.
I
could
know
be
it has
that
a
cruel.
twist ending, and I
No.
have avoided anyone telling me.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't matter. It's gonna be a trip.
Okay. You know what I think we should do? I think you should come over here and play a game of at least one game, please.
Gotta break my streak of coming over here and not
playing
not playing games.
What is this? We are gonna play pinball?
Okay. So what's the max level on this, by the way?
That is an excellent question. I have never seen a max level.
Not even 99?
I don't know.
I mean, I think, judging by how long it took me to get from 10 to 11, it sounds like that would take forever unless
It would. It should take forever.
A mere scratch.
Great. Just restart that.
Dice is a believer. Says, watch Paul blow this the F up.
Yeah, I proved him wrong. Thing is, I'm usually terrible at playing other people's games because it's, I guess it's in Stephen Bowden's pinball dictionary. It's called homesick. Have you ever heard of?
I've never heard homesick.
Homesick is where you have a pin at home, and then you go to a location to play in a tournament, and you do terribly.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I've
you're
experienced that.
That's being homesick. I wish I was at home playing my pin. That's what you.
So you call that homesick?
I don't call it homesick.
Sorry, he calls it homesick. But the actual skill is the ability to adjust on the fly.
Sure, yeah, that's really what's lacking. But
And I feel like that was maybe Trent Augustine who talked about that as being like one of the primary skills of
this
pinball.
is not going well.
Oh. So CNK asked earlier, what did you think of the Blues Brothers pin? I did not get the opportunity to play it. Sorry. It is a home pin. It was there. It was either broken or the line was too long. And by the end of the show, they gave up on it. That said, the game does look like it is mostly the Stars pin, the Stern Electronics Stars pin that we have in the background here. It looks like it's mostly that layout.
For some reason, I struggle with the center shot sometimes on this.
Oh, everyone, I feel like, struggles with that center shot sometimes.
There we go.
Nope, I did not sell stars at the Puppet Festival. Let's see here, it says Tremors and Arduino would be, in fact, there is somebody selling an Arduino version of stars that includes a little bit more depth. I think Free Gold Watch has it installed on their stars. Manu had me play it.
What is that sound, by the way? The light knocker.
Skirt,
skirt.
I don't know. Like something's timing out. I'm not sure what.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. All right, that was a warm up, guys.
That was a warm-up game, y'all.
I did not multi-ball. I did not level up.
Vermont is hatching a new plan to escape her banishment.
Okay.
Dice says, I know we discussed me coming out monthly. I've got a small block of time in April. What do you think about that? Dice, let's chat offline. I don't think I have anything significant planned for April, so that's probably very doable. We'll just want to time it to a weekend I don't have Zoe this time.
Oh, George, I just while you're making plans with Dice, I just thought of a nice addition to this this drive-through drive-in night.
Okay.
Before we go to the drive-in restaurant or drive-through fast food drive-through, where we're coming from is the driving range.
So we're gonna go top flight. So first we go to a drive-through cleaner. We grab drive-through food, and then we go to top flight. That doesn't make a ton of sense though, because top golf rather.
I didn't say that. I said the drive-in, the driving range. It could be a local golf course.
No. If you're gonna go do it, go to Top Golf, or I guess we could go someplace local. There's a couple of virtual.
I just don't want to fall down the stairs again, dude.
Sorry, it took me a while to catch up there. It was my 40th birthday party. And, wow, yeah, that worked out well. And
Trust it, dude.
Paul had a very good time.
Too good.
At Top Golf.
At least I didn't get sick in the back of the limo, though.
No, you did not do that. But you did.
Puke free since '93, baby.
Yeah, it's good times. Good times.
I love a thrilling battle.
Whatever that was.
Dice would like to do more non-pinball stuff. Let's go see the state. Any store is a drive-through if you're going fast enough, says Dice.
All right, that one was worse. I've got one more.
You got one more.
And then
You
it's
got
time for
this.
you to show everyone how this game works.
Okay.
Instead of me making Joel look good.
So I get to jump on with Joel on Wednesday night this week to do a
Does his
TPF
wife know?
a TPF recap. I'll bring that up. We're concerned about making you look good.
As you approach the docks, before you know what is happening, one large reptilian swings a massive scimitar at you. You manage to duck out of the way, throwing up your hands to counterbalance. His blade slices off the front of your pinky finger. You are attacked by a Yuan Ti. It's not over yet.
Nice.
A mere scratch.
Yeah, with the don't get me wrong, I think Kevin Smith is a good voice talent, but with the rest of the cast here, damn it.
Wow.
I was kind of wondering what he was doing in the mix. And apparently so did he.
Yeah, right? Like Gary Gygax and all
Matt
these
Mercer,
other people.
like all the Critical Role people.
Yep. It's like, why am I in here? Well, somebody evidently is a big fan.
Michael
at Stern.
Dorn in here, dude.
I mean, I'm not upset by him, his involvement. If it's any consolation, the best
I'm
game
not
I
either.
had staying with George was on Foo Fighters at Pinball Jones. That's right.
I'm not upset. That's not what I was trying to say. I was just scratching my head about it.
Right.
Nice hit.
Nice. Good backhand. Excellent.
See, there it is again. Skirt, skirt, skirt.
You are attacked by a Yuan Ti.
Wow, you've got 2 Yuan Ti. Oh, you had a couple of health potions there. Your paladin really needed it.
Now I have 3.
Well, you had to hit the green shots while they were lit.
Hey, watch the scales. The thunder tells you those monsters were from the Undermountain and were searching for something.
All right, so you are now in the town dungeon right now. Or not. Sorry.
We're going to Arabelle.
Well, it's not a direct link, dude. But Kevin Smith was part of the Big Bang Theory episode where he and William Shatner were part of Joe Manganiello's celebrity D&D sessions every week.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
You are definitely going to die. I said.
Why the hell are you talking about Vietnam? Well, it's not a direct link, dude. Oh, there's no freaking link. All right, on to ball 3.
Was I already... I don't have any quests in Arabelle?
You may have already finished it.
I guess. I hope that's something that they add on this screen right here where no quests available.
Yeah, I would love to see a lot more progress or status. You do have to make some assumptions.
Yeah, or just keep track, and if I'm leveling up a character and I can only make it out to the arcade once a week or something, you know.
Yeah.
There's completely reasonable assumption that I'm not going to remember where the hell I was or what I did on this game.
Well, it's not a literal connection, dude. Oh no, good save.
Good save, but I shouldn't have put myself in that position to begin with. that's how I'm looking at it. I guess we'll go dungeon crawl
Or not.
or not.
Small shanty town. You see kobold miners robotically milling about. Then you meet their leader, Puck. He tells you that kobolds are missing in the mine and wants you to go looking for them.
We're still gonna go dungeon. I know it's not the
Dungeon crawl. Level 1.
appealing move for some people, but
Obi-Wan says, I read the original idea for Walter in The Big Lebowski. He never actually went to Vietnam, and it was all an act. That would have made a lot of sense.
oh, it totally does.
But
I didn't lay down, face down on the monk.
it's a lot more fun that he did, though. Like, I feel like it makes for a better character.
Here we go.
Oh, man. Careful, man. There's a beverage here. So Paul is in a dungeon.
I guess we'll go straight.
Dice, how does the dude pay his bills in The Big Lebowski?
You found the award room. Well done.
Whoa!
You got a critical hit.
He's an heir to the Rubik's Cube fortune with third-party out-of-date bounce checks.
You said I
love it.
needed health potions, right?
Out the blood stain on your chest.
with health potions, you can bring your party back up.
Very good.
I thought I could just do that with my good looks. What mission should I do, George?
What are you working towards?
Rescue
miners.
the barbarian.
The barbarian is not in the game yet, so do rescue miners to the right.
Okay.
Puck takes you to the entrance of the mine.
This aggression will not stand, man.
We're being attacked by a bullet.
Hey, there's like a beverage here, man.
My healing doesn't work on them.
No one goes up against the dragon and wins.
You know why I love that movie? By the end of it, nothing happened. I'm assuming you're referencing the fact that the main characters had no impact on the overall plot. That everything would have happened exactly as it was without their involvement, kind of like Indiana Jones. Brooklyn Pin. I played the Big Lebowski Pinball for the first time 2 weeks ago. Fun game. Man, that's weird. Brooklyn... Huh.
It's not over yet.
Time extended.
True, something did happen. Donnie died. They're exactly where they began, minus a member.
And a
Well,
toe.
and the dude may have a child.
And somebody lost a toe.
That was Bonnie, if I remember correctly.
Bunny.
Was it Bunny or Bonnie?
Bunny. But it wasn't Bunny's toe. It was one of the nihilists.
He's a good man. and
Girlfriend
very thorough.
chopped off her toe. Yeah.
My girlfriend chopped off a toe.
Welcome to Dungeon Crawl, level 2.
Just, they're nihilists, dude.
I've never really. My name's not Carl, but
So the nihilist German girl is the one whose toe got cut off. Hey, you want a toe? I can get you a toe. Don't ask me how, but I can get you a toe. I can get you a toe by 2:30 with nail polish. We take the money anyway. I love that. He's a good man and thorough. Amazing how you can go from being a German artist to a professor of defense against the dark arts at Hogwarts. Uh-oh.
yeah, shoulda
Shield.
shielded.
Large score.
Tagada, welcome to the stream.
That might have been the first little bit more of a lackluster call out that I've heard on this. Large score.
That's a large score.
I mean, it was very character fitting at the same time, I felt, but for some random shopkeeper. But all right, where should I go next, George? Spy on Puck,
So
or-
wait, did you finish that first one?
I don't think so, but I mean, it's not here anymore, so.
Oh, well, now you want to go to Westgate or Greenest?
Okay, so these missions don't matter.
Nope.
I can't.
Something must be going
I'm not.
on in Kobold Town.
No legendary glass weapon yet, Tagada.
The Kobold guards.
Yeah, well, that's like your opinion, man. And Brooklyn's saying it's a very complicated case, Maud. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. Hey, this is like a private residence, man. Married? The toilet seat is up. Dude, I don't think we got the right Lebowski.
Sounds like you're not a golfer.
Sounds to me like
I
you're
almost said
not a
bowler,
golfer.
but-
I think it's back in there. Let me check again. Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money? I think it's must be in there
It's
somewhere.
hard to,
Let me
it's
look
hard
again.
to say all these quotes while editing all of the F words.
Yes, excellent point.
And I've showed you the effing short version of the movie, right? Where it's nothing but the F words for like 2.5 minutes straight.
No.
Oh yeah, that's great. When Zoe's not around, you should check that around.
All right, I'll do that. Also, I do want to point out, while I was at TPF, I had the largest beef rib I've ever had in my entire life from Hutchins Barbecue. It was life-changing, Paul. Nice, good save. Good save.
All right. So now I want to go to Westgate. Well, I'm in Kobold Town, so I can't.
Oh, so you got to go to Darkhold. What were the ounces? I'm not sure. It was a lot. So, not only was it the best piece of meat I've ever had, it was a beef rib, and it was enough food for me to just eat that. Jay-Z just eat that, and Ty just eat that. Dice once took on a 72-ounce steak and lost horrifically. There ain't nothing but gristle and fat left on that steak.
Nope. Okay.
2, 1. Your time runs out. Great job.
Dice says, when it comes to barbecue, I eat like a depressed horse. So I'm passionate. I'm actually getting ready to smoke 48 Texas Twinkies today. Or smoking 48 Texas Twinkies. For those who don't know, a Texas Twinkie is a jalapeno stuffed with cream cheese and is it brisket? I don't actually know what it's stuffed with. Jalapeno poppers stuffed with queso and brisket and wrapped in bacon. I forgot about the wrapped in bacon, of course.
Now you are definitely going to die.
Great.
Then breaded, deep fried, and dipped in ranch. I'm from Wisconsin, says Dice. Ranch is always on the side. God, all of that sounds amazing.
Oh, I've also been cooking a lot lately, George.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What have you been cooking?
I don't know if you've ever known me to cook.
I have never eaten anything that you've cooked.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about it.
So
about
have
right,
you
because
been
I
just surviving on fast food and stuff?
I mean, when I was a wind technician for 8.5 years, half of that time it was 100% travel.
Okay, and while you were
So-
traveling, you were eating out.
So, yeah, and forgot how to buy groceries during that time
Okay.
as well. But no, I've mainly been going back to my roots as when I worked at a cafe in Minneapolis back in 2007. And so I've been making a lot of paninis.
Nice.
And in fact, it's kind of funny, on my actual birthday, it was pre-planned with Andrea's family. They didn't realize this, but they were going to celebrate her mom's birthday on that day. And she's usually the cook of the family.
Okay.
So they asked her if she was like, do you really want to cook on your birthday? And she said no. And so it was going to be a potluck style type of thing. And she's got 2 brothers. So the Andrea's sister-in-laws all of the partners were bringing something to the table. And even though it was my birthday, I was like, I'm not going to shy away. Where do I want to go, George? Green Nest? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay, I still can't get to green. Oh, there it is. It's looking at the wrong light here. But no, I brought I did not make the bread, but got some pre-baked ciabatta from the store. And oh, there it is. Got that extra ball though.
All right.
Made some garlic aioli.
Ooh, that's always good.
And brought my panini press over there so we could have it like fresh and hot.
Yep.
Turkey artichoke parmesan panini with a caprese salad with a homemade balsamic glaze with had basil, rosemary, and a little bit of brown sugar in it.
Cool. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I guess there's outside of the Parmesan, there's not a whole lot of dairy there for you either.
Dude, bruh, ciabatta is so good, says Dice, especially with a good olive oil and some mozzarella.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer to have it as a sandwich, Dice. Okay, what do I want to do, George?
So you want to do defend the caravan and abandoned farm.
Attack the... Okay, abandoned farm I can see. I can't see defend the caravan.
It is orange or blue. You're doing blue, I think, right now. Abandoned farm.
And investigate the area further.
Let's check a new area.
Just some rocks. Nothing over here.
You are attacked by a Nothic.
Oh, game over, bud.
Game over.
At least I got one good one there.
Yeah, no, that was a solid game. I think that's all we're going to get in, though.
Okay.
Switching back to chat. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Flip flopping.
Yeah. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. This was fun.
Great job.
It was
Yeah,
great to switch to kind of a podcast, but still get into a game.
Yeah, I thought we were just gonna go the whole time without
Yep.
barely talking about or playing pinball.
Yeah. We got a game in, or you got a
But,
couple of games
I don't
in.
know. Final round kind of already did that.
Yeah.
Back in the day when Haggis was still around.
Sure.
But I don't know. It was fun either way.
Yeah, Pinmonk says the movie talk was heavy. I agree. It digressed, but it was still fun.
You could tell our favored media here.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, we are gonna go find someone to raid. I don't know who that is. And we'll be back on tomorrow, y'all. My name is George. This is Paul over there. And we brought you not much in the way of Dungeons and Dragons, but we'll bring that back tomorrow. We'll focus. We'll try our absolute best to stay focused tomorrow. You guys have a good one. Let's go raid some Laser Los tonight.
Later, guys.